from the Pontiac Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the Chicago Bears against the Detroit Lions. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by Chevrolet and your Chevrolet dealer, who invite you to see the new Chevrolet S10 truck coming November the 12th. And by Lanier Business Products, when typing problems pile up, the solution is an easy one. The new Easy One word processor from Lanier. Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, which will host the 16th Super Bowl to be played January 24th. The standings in the Central Division of the NFC, as you can see, Minnesota with their win over Philadelphia on top, followed by Tampa Bay, Detroit, Green Bay, the bottom of the stack, of course, the Chicago Bears with 1-5. We're looking for a very interesting football game tonight, even though it might not be drama-packed by two contending teams. But every time these two teams get together, they're old rivals in the Central Division, we usually have a lot of excitement. I'll be working tonight with Fran Tarkenton and Don Meredith, our colleague, Howard Cosell, of course, in New York, preparing for the World Series, which will begin tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers. What a game that was this afternoon. Maybe some of the excitement has gone out for the Detroit Lions because word is that Billy Sims, their gifted NFL Rookie of the Year of a year ago, will not start. He damaged his left big toe last week against the Denver Broncos. We understand is available should they need a little pickup, but right now he is scheduled not to start, so we just will have to wait and see what happens with Billy Sims. Quarterback problems for both of these ball clubs, and who better to talk about it than Fran Tarkenton? And well, let's talk about Detroit.
Well, every problem might be an opportunity. Gary Danielson, the starter, went down a few weeks ago. He's on injured reserve. Jeff Cobble, they hadn't liked what he's been doing. Tonight, the starter will be Eric Hipple. Ever heard of him? Well, this will be a good chance for Eric to show what he can do. They say he has potential, and we'll see if we can put potential into reality. But Eric Hipple's going to be the guy here. Danny, how about you? What do you got over in Chicago?
Well, I'm looking for us, Eric Hipple. Go myself. At number 17 is pro. He's not going to be all bad. You know that. Quarterback problems over in the Bears. I guess that kind of runs with the territory in a way. The Bears have gotten off to a very poor start. They haven't been able to run the ball, so can they pass? Well, they haven't been able to pass the ball too well either. As a matter of fact, last week against Washington, Vince Evans, well, he hit 12 out of 37, and you'd say that's not too good. Well, the bad part is 4 of those he hit belong to Washington. So they've got some real problems. They've had some injuries. Vince has been hurt, and so is Walter Payton. Walter Payton ran the ball 5 times and gained 5 yards. They got some problems. Maybe they can work them out tonight. We're going to find out. Frank's ready to kick this thing off. Let's go get them. Frank.
Thank you, Don. And well, I mentioned earlier, these two teams always put on a pretty good show. Last year, one of the best games played in the NFL was Thanksgiving Day, and it was played between the Bears and the Detroit Lions. And it was really interesting. The shortest overtime game in the history of the NFL because Dave Williams returned the overtime kickoff from Detroit, 95 yards for a touchdown. We are set to get underway. As you can see, the Chicago Bears will be kicking off as John Rovetto. Deep, number 83 is Robbie Martin, a rookie from Cal Poly at San Luis Obispo in California, and Alvin Hill, number 35. Set to go, 2 longtime rivals. And both of them still with aspirations in the Central Division of the NFC. And a beautiful boot by Rovetto, who's playing in only his 2nd game for Chicago. And here comes Robbie Martin. And Robbie Martin upended, sprawls out to the 20-yard line where we will see Detroit, and we will see the first start for young Eric Hipple, a 2nd-year man from Utah State. He's thrown the ball, or tried to throw it, 15 times thus far this year, 4 completions, 2 interceptions, I might add to that, no touchdowns. And right now, as we look down on the field, it'll be Rick Kane, a 5th-year veteran from San Jose State. He's only had 5 attempts thus far on the season. He's in there for the injured Billy Sims. Eric Hipple, 6'1", 196-pounder, good speed, good athlete. Detroit might try to use a lot of rollout action with him because he's very good at it, we are told. Right now on 1st and 10. Hipple. He's going up. Very play is Freddie Scott racing downfield, beating Terry Schmidt at the 30-yard line. They're close to it. First down, Detroit.
You know, Geff, he's got one thing going for him tonight. He can play loose and free as you look at Eric Hipple because there's no pressure on him at all tonight. You see the ISO the receiver going downfield. Detroit hasn't been going good. Hipple starts it off well. Really a great throw. He's well covered, gets it in between 2 defensive backs. Long game. That'll help him.
What a nice way to start a game for a quarterback who's starting his first game.
Dexter Bussey, number 24. And there, along with to the setbacks, and here comes Bussey. All-time Detroit ground gainer. Replaced Altie Taylor early in the year for that prestigious sort of record. Picks up a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. We'll be seeing a lot of changes tonight as we look defensively. Alan Page, one of the greatest players ever to play this game, defensively in there for Chicago and playing in his final season. The linebackers, still some question about the middle spot, where Lee Coons has replaced Tom Hicks, who performed there for a couple of the years. And trouble in the secondary for the Chicago Bears. Doug Plank, starting at free safety, hurt his knee last week, as did his backup, Lenny Walterscheid. Walterscheid is not even here. And on 2nd down and 8, Hipple to the air. In and out of the hands of Rick Kane. He was well covered defensively. It was number 24, the rookie from USC, Jeff Fisher. Monty Clark in his 4th year here with the Detroit Lions, under fire, under pressure. There was a lot of question concerning a 4th down call made last week at Denver. 2 4th down calls that perhaps would have changed the tone of that game. Denver going on to win. 3rd down along 7. And the youngster, Eric Hipple, brings them up. Looks it over. The play is being called by Bob Schnelker from high above here in the Silverdome of Pontiac. Hipple, and he is a strong runner with good speed. Hipple gets the 1st down. He's inside the 20-yard line.
Good move.
Close to the 16. Tackled there by Gary Fincey.
I like that, did you?
There's nothing that brings the hometown crowd alive as when they get a brand new quarterback. They think this might be our magical guy. It's going to be Prince Charming. He's going to come out and solve all our problems. And so far, Eric's done pretty good. Good strong run. Let's see if he's learned how to fall down yet without getting. Yep, he's learned that. He's an old youngster. He's a old veteran.
Swinging that ball a little bit till he got close in there and then kind of tucked it in, made the 1st down.
They say he runs a 4.740.
Those quarterbacks do, Frank.
Not too rapid, but is certainly stepping out. On 1st and 10, Hipple back. Hangs it up, Dexter Bussey. And Bussey runs into big Jim Osborne, who slid out there from defensive tackle. He meets him right about at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Oh, Jim Osborne had a pretty good comment this week. He says, you know, one of the things that the Bears have been doing wrong, we've been waiting for either Vince Evans or Walter Payton to win for us. He says maybe we'll get the idea that at 1 and 5 that there's got to have some more players on this team, so we ought to start doing something right now. He comes in, plays the nose guard on the special defenses they have sometime in there too. Big Jim Osborne.
They will move their defensive people around, the Chicago Bears. Show you a lot of fronts, and they'll probably even show more tonight, trying to confuse Harry Hipple. 2nd down and 10.
5-man line there.
And a mix-up in the backfield. That was Rick Kane colliding with Hipple. And there will be a loss back to the 20-yard line. Otis Wilson reading the play, closing in.
Now, you know, the Bears have had a lot of coaches in the last 20, 30 years. But they always run a lot of variety of defenses. Don, you remember when you played against them, they try to confuse you. And for a young quarterback, it's difficult to know what to audible to.
3rd down, long yardage for Detroit. Ball back at the 20-yard line following that mix-up in the backfield. Out to the left goes Fred Scott. He has a lot of speed. Leonard Thompson to the right. He has a lot of speed. And watch the big tight end, David Hill. He's a good one. Hippo. Beautiful shot. He completes the ball to Rick Kane, or rather Leonard Thompson, but a flag is down.
That was good. Terry Smith was a defender back there. He had Terry turned around a little bit, ran a pretty good route. And the penalty will work against the Chicago Bears. So things are going right for Detroit in the early going.
They will take the play. Watch Hipple here. Level ground look. Here's Page trying to get in. He gets good protection. Watch him zip this in there. You just cannot throw it any better. Good throw. Right on time to old Leonard Thompson.
I'll tell you, that's a very rare time you see that particular official throw a flag. Let's see what it is.
Use of hands. Number 68 defense. Penalty decline.
Osborne.
1st down.
Osborne. 1st down. Goal to go. The ball inside the 6-yard line. Our referee tonight is Jerry Seaman.
Now you might wonder at home, how could a defensive tackler illegal use of hands? Probably a head slap, which is illegal.
Harry Hipple looks over the goal line defense of the Bears. A quick toss. It's Rick Kane. And Rick Kane struggling to get into the end zone. They say he does not. He's right at the corner. It'll be second down and goal to go. Dexter Bussey can do a lot of things out of this Detroit backfield. Fran, you played against him. He can come out as a good pass receiver and good, solid, steady runner, even though he is not a Billy Sims.
Even though Billy Sims is out, Dexter Bussey can play. Rick Kane can play, as you saw there. And they got another guy. Horace King is a good player. So they've got adequate reserves for Billy Sims. But again, you don't replace a Billy Sims.
And Billy Sims able to play. We are told they would like not to play. He has a damaged left big toe. Second down and goal. Touchdown, Detroit. Touchdown, Detroit. Eric Hipple.
What a fitting
ending. Fired up.
79 yards.
A rookie quarterback. Just go ahead and take it down there and then score yourself.
The big play. The pass to Fred Scott. Covered 48 yards. And he came out very first play. He was going to, I guess, settle himself down.
Well, Don, you know Eric Hipple, though, played in every game for Detroit last year.
Because he's holding extra points and field goals. You trying to trick me, weren't you, Francis? I also know he's born in Lubbock, Texas. Did you know I knew that?
How'd you know that?
Here's Ed Murray, number 3 for the conversion. And Murray drills it through. And the Detroit Lions, using almost 4.5 minutes of the first quarter on the scoreboard first. They lead 7-0 over the not giving up too much on the ground. And we still don't know whether we will see him tonight or not, but we are going to see Walter Payton very shortly as Ed Murray gets set to kick it off. And deep is David Williams, the man who won the overtime game Thanksgiving Day with a 95-yard kickoff return. There he is. He's a Blazer. Good heady return man.
They can only tie his record. That's the shortest overtime game. They can't break it.
High kick by Murray. Williams gets up under it. And Williams jukes his way out over the 25-yard line. And the Chicago Bears offensive unit comes on. Vince Evans, well, Don mentioned his problems. Quarterback for the Chicago Bears. And you just wonder if maybe his psyche wasn't damaged a little bit. And he was 8 of 37 with the 4 interceptions in the loss to Washington last week.
That is something I think. That's a good point, Frank. Also, you know, he hurt his shoulder in our Monday night game with the Bears. Pretty tough bruise. He came back and had one good game after that. And then last week it all fell apart on him.
And a good game against Minnesota. A lot of yards.
First down and 10. Walter Payton, 34. Matt Suhey, 26. The second-year man from Penn State. Those are the setbacks.
Got 5 on the
flag is down, and Payton just carries big Detroit lineman for a 5-yard pickup. And again, a flag is down. That has always amazed me about Walter Payton. His tremendous strength at 200 pounds. Offside. I would suspect the Bears will take the penalty because the down will remain the same, and they'll have a first and 5. First and 5, rather. Again, I'd like to show you what these officials do when they're, as I mentioned last night, not taking all the abuse they get from the fans.
Offside, number 75, defense.
Dave Purifori, offside Detroit. Chicago accepting the penalty. It'll be first down and 5. It's Purifori. Had a good year last year. Defensive MVP for Detroit.
They picked him up really essentially for nothing from Green Bay a few years ago. Played well for him.
First down at 5, out of the eye, and that's where Payton likes to run from. This time, Matt Suhey piled up. Gains 2, perhaps 3. It'll be third down and a couple.
And if you look at big number 78 getting off the pile, that's an interesting story, Giff, because Doug Ingles 2 years ago was in the Pro Bowl, defensive tackle from Texas, one of the fine defensive tackles in football. And last year he set out because he was went to work for Texas Oil Company out in the fields and said he couldn't do both. This year they got him back, and they're glad to have him back. He's some player. How'd you like that information, Dandy? Did you know all that?
Well, I'd heard rumor to that effect.
Correct myself, is second down and 2 following the penalty. Suhey once again. He has the first down. Out close to the 37-yard line. William Gay initially there for Detroit.
Guys, I believe we're going to see a pretty good football game here tonight because both of these teams feel they have something to prove. They're good football players on both teams. They were both picked to finish up there in contention for the Central Division title. They both have talent, and they're playing pretty good so far tonight, both of them.
Detroit 9-7 last year, same record as Minnesota. Minnesota won the division on a tiebreaker. The Chicago Bears were 7-9, expected to do much better than their 1-5 rating this far this season. On 1st and 10, Evans rolling out, whips it right into the arms of a Detroit linebacker, Stan White. Flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
My goodness.
But he really hit Stan White. He must have been shocked. He hit him right in the numbers.
Well, you like to see Vince Evans rolling out because he's got so much speed and quickness, and he really could have rolled out farther and got a little more leverage, but he pulled up.
Illegal motion, number 81 offense, penalty decline.
Penalty against the Bears, so Detroit will have a 1st down and 10 inside the 30-yard line of the Chicago Bears. We'll look again.
Watch him come out here. He really doesn't need to pull up. It's kind of a bootleg action. He's got the corner. The tackle's blocking the defensive end in, but he stood there and really had to throw over the guy.
How in the world can you not see that guy there, though? I mean, that Stan White took his drop right out into that zone from the very beginning, and that's the direction that he was running.
Yep. Well, he got himself in trouble by not continuing the roll, and that's what he should have done.
Harry Kipple. 2nd possession. Hands off to Rick Kane. Rick Kane still working for yardage. It's inside the 25 to the 23-yard line, taken there by Otis Wilson. But a nifty pickup of 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Rick Kane coming into tonight, only 5 attempts and 8 receptions. He's just a kind of steady, dependable back. And you don't have a Billy Sims in there. You have somebody in there that keeps you out of trouble.
He might have been a really good back until you get a Billy Sims on his team, and then you realize that he's just a good, steady, dependable back. It's sure good to have him. You're right.
Well, the Bears have gone to a 5-man line now to try to stop the run. Let's see if they can do that. We've heard about the 3-man line. Here's a 5.
No.
And off Rick Kane, and Rick Kane inside the 15 for another Detroit 1st down, and the Detroit offensive line just blowing the Bears out of there right now. Big hole for Kane. Wide receivers are shuffling in the plays as we watch again.
It's a straight man-on-man blocking. They're just blowing them out. Homer Elias on Alan Page moves him out.
He actually had a pretty
They're working.
Had a good shot of Bussey. They coming up to give a good block on that last time.
Leonard Thompson, 39. Mark Nichols, the number 1 draft pick from San Jose State, wide receiver number 86. They bring the plays into young Harry Kipple. Big toss, and it goes out to Bussey, and Bussey shows strength and power as he's driven out of bounds, however, by Gary Finsick, who also will give you a pop.
You know, that defensive line of the Bears, you got Al Harris and Dan Hampton on the ends, both of them number 1 draft choices. Hampton in the Pro Bowl a year ago. Alan Page, who's been just a tremendous football player. Osborne, a good football player.
Gary Finsick, Pro Bowl.
Yep, and they're running right through them.
Gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Time remaining in the 1st quarter. Detroit on top, 7-0.
Now the Bears have gone to a 3-man line, Dandy. They're going to try to stop them with a 3.
I admire their courage. They'll find something to work here.
Yeah.
Bussey loses the football, and it looks like a Bear has it. There's a scramble. They're still going for it. Bears say they have it. Bussey never had control of that ball. Came off his shoulder pad into the air. And it's going to be the Bears' ball. Looks like Gary Finsick. Or maybe Doug Plank at the bottom of that pile.
Well, the 3rd time may be a charm. They went from a 5 to a 4 to a 3. Well, I wonder if they'd have gone to a 2 for nothing in play.
One of the advantages of that three-man front, though, is that it puts those linebackers in better position to catch the fumbles.
Now, Osborne really made the play there, and he got back in the backfield penetration.
I'll tell you, that football attracts the crowd. It's still bobbling.
Still up. It's still going.
And I think it falls right into the arms of Doug Plank. In any event, the Bears will have the football. 1st and 10, the ball at their own 10-yard line. Coach Neil Armstrong of the Bears. I don't know whether Doug Plank knew it or not, but he made that recovery. That ball was all over the field. It finally was just dropped right on his stomach, and the Bears have the football.
And you talking about a hard-nosed football player. There is no more hard-nosed safety man in this league than Doug Plank.
Got a little too hard-nosed a year ago and got fined for it.
Yep.
Tampa Bay against Jimmy Giles. Late hit. Evans. Matsui Suey for a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Neil Armstrong, and he has really been under fire in recent weeks in Chicago, along with Jim Finks, the general manager. And just this past week, Jim Dooley, a former head coach for the Bears, was brought in as an offensive consultant. Whatever an offensive consultant is, when you've got your staff all pulled together, I don't know.
I never really understood that, Giff. They got Ted Marchibroda as the offensive coordinator, and I don't know what that all means. Must mean something.
Well, they play 3-man lines against 3 head coaches.
2nd down and 8. Walter Payton. And Payton gets to the 15-yard line for about 3. And 3rd down and 5.
Mentioned that Walter had only gained 5 yards on 5 carries last week. Failed to mention in the opening, he also has a slightly hyperextended knee and a deep bruise on his leg. And as many times as he's been hit, you could say, well, that could have happened anyway. But how he did it by trying to keep his 10-month-old son from falling down some stairs. He jumped in front of him and hurt his knee a little bit.
Bruised his thigh, and he had 5 yards on 5 carries a week ago. He'd like to have a big night tonight. Evans. Good shot.
My goodness.
And we could get 6 out of this. Marcus Anderson, the rookie from Tulane. All right. Scored a touchdown last week from Mike Phipps late in the Denver game. No flags down, and Anderson has gone 85 yards on a terrific shot from Vince Evans. He had to hit him right on stride.
Now let's give
in between 2 men, he was perfect.
Vince Evans threw that ball perfectly. He's got a really strong arm. Threw it in between 2 defensive backs. He threw a strike. Let's watch it.
Well,
Danny called this thing.
Well, he hadn't missed anybody all night. I'll guarantee he's hit both of them really good. Wound up, I thought I saw a little defensive move, a little bit overly aggressive on the part of Mr. Allen.
Jimmy Allen.
But when Jimmy Allen made it miss, you're right, Marcus Anderson just picked him up and put him down all the way through.
Marcus Anderson was cut by the Rams this past summer, signed as a free agent, and he is showing a lot of promise. John Rivetto with the attempt to tie it up. Avellini places it down. And we've got a tie football game, a 6:05 remaining in the first quarter. It usually happens this way when the Bears and the Lions get together. We'll be back in a moment. Vince Evans has hit on his 2nd longest touchdown pass of his 5-year career to the rookie Marcus Anderson from Tulane. 2 years ago, Evans to Watts, 89 yards. Tonight, 85 yards to young Marcus. Rovetto kicks it deep into the end zone, and here comes Alvin Hall, a rookie from Miami of Ohio.
Watch out.
And Alvin Hall with a fine return out over the 30-yard line, close to the 34-yard line. Jeff Fisher defensively there for Chicago. And let's take a look at the pass once again.
Francis, we used to call this like a little quick out up.
Well, it's kind of a zone there, Danny. Gets right in between it.
Yep.
Pretty good move by the receiver to get in between it. Evans recognized it, and they were gaining on him. Wayne Smith was trying to catch him, but he had too much a lead, and old Marcus goes 85 yards. I tell you, guys, I think it's going to be a wide-open affair tonight. These teams can play. I don't care what their records are.
Alvin Hill, 36-yard return. Alvin Hall, rather. 34-yard line of Detroit. Play action by Hipple. That ball deflected, and there's a scramble for it, and big Dan Hampton could not come down with it.
Hampton almost, I think he knocked it out of one of his other guys' hands.
I think he did, too. He thought he had interception, and every defensive lineman likes that.
Hey, you show those big defensive linemen an opportunity to get their hands on a football, and their eyes glaze over, smoke comes out of their nostrils.
I think I saw what I would call a rookie mistake on the part of our young quarterback tonight. He followed that receiver from the very beginning. He didn't look anywhere else except right to the right. And he's waiting for him to get open. It took too long. By the time he threw, they had their hands up.
2nd down and 10. Bears showing blitz. Handoff, Kane. Kane to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Buddy Ryan, the Bear defensive coordinator, is really not being very fair to old Hipple by the way he's changing those defenses around, Andy. He's making it tough, and they're sending plays in from the bench. No way they can anticipate what he's going to be calling.
I'll tell you, Detroit hasn't punted yet. This crowd is already starting to boo. They did not like the fact they're trying to run the ball up the middle. They want the football in the air.
They're going to throw a lot of different defensive changes, you're right, and I think they're also going to blitz a lot of linebackers. They may blitz safeties.
Yep.
They're going to make him look at everything they can think of.
He walks around out there like he owns this place. Harry Kipple, 3rd down and 9 to the air. That one bobbled again.
Good.
And a good play by Leonard Thompson to avoid the interception.
That was a good defensive play by the offensive wide receiver.
And he got a lot of pressure that time. The Bears have a good pass rushing defensive line. They put 5 guys on the 5 offensive linemen. There's no help for anybody, and it's tough to block them and hold them out that long.
Tom Skladany leading the NFC, 3rd in the NFL, by the way, behind Pat McAnally of Cincinnati and Ray Guy of Oakland. 45-3 average, and here's Jeff Fisher, the man who was principally responsible for the Bears' one victory of the season against Tampa Bay. He ran one back 88 yards. Skladany, who doesn't turn over, hangs up there, and Fisher calls for and makes the fair catch at the 20-yard line. 45-yard punt, close to Skladany's average. We've got 4:49 in the first quarter. We've got a good football game. Hope you enjoy. Stick around. It's all tied up. Harry Kipple talking things over offensively. You better believe the defensive unit is also discussing it, because Al Baker has left the game. The fine defensive end, the best pass rusher for Detroit with a bull groin. Bill Gay has moved to the outside, number 79. Steve Furness, acquired from Pittsburgh on waivers earlier this year, is in there, number 71 at defensive tackle. 1st and 10. Motion man Ken Marjoram, the rookie from Stanford. Here comes Walter Payton. Can't get outside.
Wonderful
man
defense.
who pressured it was Jimmy Allen.
What a wonderful job of reading that offensive formation. When he went in motion, Jimmy Allen came from his safety way up. Good. We'll see from behind the offense. Walter's got the ball. What you didn't see was Allen get in position. He went with the motion man. Gets outside, playing it off. Good block. That's Manuel Sanders blocking on it. Forced that one out there. That was a nice defensive play.
A loss of 5 for Walter Payton. 2nd down, 15 for Evans. He'll see the pass rush. Evans, and this one almost picked off. Gary Cobb was there for Detroit. It'll be 3rd down and 15. There's Jimmy Allen. 4 interceptions coming into tonight for Jimmy Allen, and once again, that's Ted Marchibroda on the right. And, of course, the head coach, Neil Armstrong.
Tough situation now. You're down on your own 15-yard line, 3rd and 15. You got to be careful with the ball. Defensive line knows it's going to be passed, and they'll strap their ears back and let them come.
89, Marjoram, the rookie 3rd-round draft pick, record setter from Stanford, splits to the right of Evans. He's had a couple of fine weeks, making his 3rd start tonight. Matsui.
Good play.
It's a bit of a picket line and gets back to the original line of scrimmage, far short of the 1st down, however, and Chicago will have to turn it over.
Well, they got themselves in trouble on 1st down. You lose 5 yards on 1st down. You're back in the hole. It's a defensive advantage then, and Detroit capitalized on it.
Here's one of the senior citizens for Chicago, Bob Parsons, kicking at a 41-yard average. He never gets much over that. Kicks the ball high, however. Robbie Martin has settled in for Detroit at his own 35-yard line.
And they're trying to block it.
Good high kick. Robbie Martin does not have time. Looks upfield, sees a lot of Bears, makes the fair catch at the 41-yard line on a 39-yard punt. So once again, young Eric Hipple in relief of Jeff Comlow, and the injured Gary Danielson will have good position. 1st down and 10. Detroit, their own 41-yard line. A little against the grain play by Dexter Bussey, hit there by Otis Wilson. Maybe got a yard out of it. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Again, Billy Sims, in case you have just joined us, the gifted runner for the Detroit Lions, not starting tonight. We're told he is available if it should be necessary.
I wonder how edgy Monty Clark's getting over about now. He knows he's got Sam sitting on the sidelines, not quite 100%. I bet he holds off till at least halftime. What do you think?
I think you're right, Andy.
2nd down and 9. Mark Nichols, the rookie from San Jose State, to the right. That's Fred Scott up there at the top of your screen. King again, another big opening.
What a good
Kane inside the 40 has a first down for Detroit. Big hole right side. 20-yard pickup.
Right behind big Keith Dorney, the #1 pick a year or two ago. I mean, there was a gaping hole here. It's a 3-man line, goes back to the eye. And Van Horn kicks his man out. Here comes Kane trying to get a block from his wide receiver on Plank, but didn't quite do it. Keith Dorney, rather, not Van Horn.
And Lee Coots he went for the first fake. They left him kind of standing there, didn't have to block him, ran right by him on the linebacker position.
38-yard line of the Chicago Bears. It's all tied. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Reverse.
Here comes a reverse. The quarterback.
Got it.
Quarterback with a great block out front. Hipple, and a flag goes down as into the end zone.
No, they're going to call poor old Eric for holding. He grabbed him on the foot.
He had him down.
He had him down. I think it was a takedown, but let's watch it.
Let's give him a lot for effort, though. You want to?
Freddie Scott, he didn't see it. He was celebrating the end zone, looked upfield. The flag is down. They'll bring it back.
I'd like to see that again if we can. It'd be kind of fun to see him make the block anyway.
I mean, is this not Monday Night Football?
Let's watch this. Here we go. Watch 17. Ball's going to go to the reverse. Will come back, and you'll see old 17 coming to your picture here in just a moment. Right on the left part of your screen. There he is. Oh, it looks like he did grab his foot down there.
I imagine he did, or they wouldn't have thrown that flag.
No, he was looking right at him.
Good play, though, wasn't it? That was pretty.
He hit him high and was sliding down, and he didn't have him down, so he just grabbed the leg and pulled him down.
They fooled that defense. They made that reverse.
Good play.
Yeah.
All right, Monty. Wide open stuff.
From the 39-yard line. First down, 11 yards to go.
Got room again.
It's to the outside and taken out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Short of the first down. Maybe we can see it from this angle.
Here's another angle.
He had a good block on him.
Watch 17. Well, he's going down pretty hard there, Gil.
Well, look, that's how you get a good block.
By pulling him down. That's okay. You know, sometimes they don't see that.
He really did not have to knock him down with the tremendous speed of Freddie Scott. He would have been by him. So that was really kind of a wasted touchdown.
Yeah, but it was somebody gave him a job to do. And I mean, you know, good, responsible people, they like to do their job.
That's
he was
right.
doing his job. He had a blocking assignment.
Right, Gil.
Second down and 3. Ball on the 31-yard line.
Here they
comes
come.
the blitz. And Hipple gets it out to David Hill, the tight end. Just a good effort to release that ball without getting sacked.
Good move by Hipple.
Line of scrimmage, that's all. No pickup, so it'll be third down and 3.
And a pretty reception, no one. I like to see
I like
that.
the way he walks around out there.
Well, you know,
Always a silver dome.
in that situation, if you get a sack, you're going to see more of it, more of it, more of it. By just getting rid of the ball, even though he didn't complete it, will discourage them from doing a lot of the safety, double safety blitz, which is that's what they did that time. They came with 9 people.
Third down, it's a long 3. Horace King comes in, number 25, joins Rick Kane, number 32, as setbacks. Nichols, the rookie from San Jose State, split to the right. That's Fred Scott again, top of your screen. Blitz again. Scott, and that was almost picked off. It would have been by Ruben Hernandez for 6.
All right, Dandy, you picked it up a while ago. What happened there again is he looked at that receiver the entire way. The defensive back saw him look there all the way, and he made the play. Here's an out ball. It's a dangerous pass if you look right at him all the way. Didn't look him off. The defensive back anticipated. He also underthrew him. And he had 6 points the other way. And that's a major defensive error when you don't catch that and keep going.
That's Ed Murray setting up for the field goal attempt. It'll be a 49-yard field goal attempt, well within his range. He's 9 of 12 on the year. He's had a long of 50. Eric Hipple will put it down. Teneur snaps it back. On a distance and a whole lot of accuracy. 49-yard field goal, and the Lions have untied the game with 1:15 remaining in the first quarter. They lead over the Bears 10-7. Eddie Murray, in his second year out of Tulane, led the NFC as a rookie with 116 points. Has given Detroit quite a new bit of scoring punch. I mentioned Howard Cosell not with the 3 of us tonight. Frank Gifford along with Fran Tarkenton and Don Meredith. He's preparing for the World Series, which will begin tomorrow night right here on ABC, beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. The Los Angeles Dodgers, winners today over Montreal, against the New York Yankees. It'll be live from Yankee Stadium And this is going to be some series.
Dandy's at Los Angeles or San Diego?
No, it's Los Angeles Rams. The big Dodger in the sky.
Tried to get him in there last night.
That was a good ball game. I watched that today. Oh, Rick Monday came through, did it.
All right.
How about Fernando? Was he solid today? He wanted to go the distance so badly. What a competitor he is. Fernando Valenzuela. Here's Dave Williams, and Ed Murray will kick it off.
They're trying to kick it away from Williams.
They certainly are. They do. This is Leslie Frazier. And in kicking it away from Williams, the Bears will be out to their 28-yard line for their possession. Lonnie Clark had a lot of success out at San Francisco a few years ago. Trained well under Don Shula for 6 years at Miami, the architect of that offensive unit down there in the early 70s. And we look once again at his young quarterback, Eric Hipple. 1st and 10. The ball marked at the 29-yard line. Robin Earl, the big tight end, in motion. Back against the grain to Walter Payton. Flag is down. Whistles blowing, just in case they didn't hear it.
False start, number 65 offense.
Noah Jackson, left guard. Chicago Bears, false start. Now we are told that Al Baker, the fine defensive end, Pro Bowl defensive end for Detroit, has a damaged left toe. That is the problem with Billy Sims.
False start, number 65 offense.
Remember how a couple years ago they were talking about the turf toes? You got out of artificial turf. I wonder is that what they?
No, that was Sims. He, as a matter of fact, has a kind of a makeshift splint on that left toe, if you can imagine such a thing. He just jammed it on a 4th down try against Denver last week. 1st and 15. Now we'll try it again. Same play. And Payton gets 4 of those yards back out to the 27-yard line.
Danny, as you watch the Bears offense, they got the one big play, and that's really about all they've had. You'd like to see an offense be able to sustain something. You know, you watched Minnesota against Philadelphia yesterday, and Kramer had a great day. But boy, he just chopped them up. As you look at Walter Payton, they're hitting little short passes, and they would sustain drives, 10, 11, 12-play drives. That's good offense. And you don't see that here tonight by the Bears.
2nd down and 12. Marcus Anderson. 2 rookie wide receivers for the Bears. Brian Boschnagel has a fractured wrist. He's not in there tonight. Ricky Watts has a pulled muscle. So the rookies are at the flanks for the Bears. This is Matsui. 2nd and 12. Good play by Stan White. For many years, a fine linebacker with the Baltimore Colts. There is your last year's Rookie of the Year. Over 1,300 yards rushing, and you hate to have that sitting on the bench.
Hard to get your screen pass working if your passing game's not going.
Well, our scoreboard clock indicates the quarter has expired, and it definitely has now.
Thanks for reminding them, Frank. They may have forgotten that.
Bears, old rivalry. They lead 10-7. We'll be back. And you hate to have this man on the bench, Al Baker. This man has had 54 sacks in 3 years and 6 games. He is some kind of pass rusher. And you can see they're working on his left toe.
If he broke in as a rookie and I was still playing, I think he had more sacks than anybody in the league that year all alone. I think he's somewhere around 20.
He had 23, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
3rd down and 15 now for the Bears. They have the ball just inside their own 25-yard line. They trail 10-7 as we begin the 2nd quarter. Walter Payton. Emmanuel Sanders out in front. And Emmanuel Sanders and Jimmy Allen piled up, and Payton went down.
If Emmanuel could have moved it out a little bit quicker.
Now, you might question that 3rd and 15 call, but I don't. I think it was a pretty good call. Edmonds really isn't settled down yet. They haven't sustained anything. That was a safe play. At least they didn't turn the ball over.
Yeah, got the wind in the back.
You know, there's not much wind in here tonight, is it, Dandy? Not much wind at all.
Unless there's a kink in the air conditioning.
That's right.
Rob Parsons to punt for Chicago. Robbie Martin, we saw a moment ago, at the 30-yard line of Detroit. Parsons, boom,
hit it.
Towering punt, takes Martin all the way back to his 20-yard line. hustling down. Number 90, Al Harris, was hustling down there. 53-yard punt. 138 yards for Detroit. They put together 79 of those yards on their opening drive.
How about Chicago? They had one play for 85. The total yards 98. 13 yards on all the other plays in one quarter. Not too good.
Bears won both meetings last year. The thriller here. And then they won very easily in Chicago at Soldier Field. Play action by Hippo.
Oh,
oh, and Gary Fensick really got stacked up. He ran in and collided with Leonard Thompson. Leonard Thompson was being covered with Terry Schmidt. And I believe Gary Fensick is coming off hurt.
And you know he's hurt, or he got up right quickly and went to the sideline.
That's the third safety now in 2 weeks. The Bears have lost. Doug Plank is playing. He had to leave last week. Let's take a look at it again.
You watch it here. You'll see Fensick come in, left your screen here. He's got the interception, but couldn't make it because everybody hit him.
His own man, I believe it was Terry Schmidt, covering Leonard Thompson.
Dangerous back there.
Second down and 10. Over the middle, Hipple hits his man, Dexter Bussey. He doesn't hold on. It'll be third down and 10. Hipple says, come on, guys.
I like his
We knew that should have been caught.
Yeah, he's all right. He's in there charged up and trying to get something going.
Beautiful stadium, Silverdome. As we look at Gary Fensick.
Well, you didn't realize what a lick he took till you saw it over again. It kind of slowed it down, but he did a total double back flip, landed on his head. Looks like it was a hip corner.
That's what I was going to say.
Got hit by Terry Schmidt right on that hip.
Yeah.
We'll get a report as soon as we can. Meanwhile, Todd Bell, a rookie from Ohio State, has replaced Fensick. Third down 10. Hippo trying to get out to Rick Kane, and Rick Kane
Slipped down.
Banged out there.
He slipped, I think, Frank, when he was trying to make his cut.
Well, he slipped with a little help from Gary Campbell.
From his friends. How you get along out there.
Skladany on to punt for Detroit.
But oh, Eric's throwing at him. I hear
Fisher is deep for Chicago.
A few rumblings of booze here, but I don't know what it's for. He's out there trying hard.
Gets this one to turnover, and here is Fisher from his 33-yard line. Good defensive play, hustling down there, Leonard Thompson. 44-yard punt by Skladany. And the Chicago Bears will have good field position. They'll be at their 35-yard line when we come back to Detroit. A lot of the old Detroit Lions stars, we understand, are planning on getting together back here in Detroit. Bobby Lane, Doak Walker. You remember the names: Doran Dibble, Cloyce Box, Thurman McGraw, Dick Lane. There were some great ones. They had a lot of championships in those years. And there is a move afoot to bring a lot of them back for the Super Bowl.
What did he call that? Detroit.
Wow.
First down and 10.
Look out.
Watch out. Oh, and Evans coughs up the ball. He's smacked. Dave Purifoy hit Evans, and rumbling downfield is Doug English, and I mean rumbling.
Evans is hurt, looks like. Or maybe that's just his feelings.
He was really hit hard.
Dave Purifoy had a straight shot. Purifoy goes about 260. He jarred the ball loose from Evans. Doug English was there to collect it.
I would have thought that he would have sensed him coming right here, but he didn't really look like he didn't have any idea that he was around him.
They sure got around him in a hurry.
There's your oil man.
Another fumble.
The ball advanced down close to the 5-yard line. Ray Oldham picked it up from English. And Detroit has a first down and goal to go. Rick Kane, right side, working behind Keith Dorney. Perhaps the best offensive lineman for the Detroit Lions. Kane now 51 yards, 7 carries. Walt Walter Payton, 4 carries, 4 yards.
Add that to 5 last week. That's right on that same average, isn't it? Let's see, 9 for, yep, 9 for 9. That's
There the teammates. Second down, goal to go. The ball at the 4-yard line.
A little rollout.
Lions leading 10-7, threatening to extend that lead.
Rollout.
Hippo rolling out into the end zone, and then a dramatic style.
How did I know?
How did you know that, Dandy?
I mentioned he could run the ball, and they had put in a series of rollout maneuvers for him.
That's how I knew.
He has good speed and showing a lot of enthusiasm tonight. He's getting a lot of help from his pals.
Frank, that's one of the reasons that that Detroit originally went to the shotgun defense, because they felt they had a couple of guys that could run shotgun offense, I should say. But he does make a real good quick move, and a 4.7 time on a 40-yard dash for a quarterback is pretty doggone smooth. Just move to the outside. Pretty tough kid. You don't want to do things like that if you don't have to, Eric. Eric.
Ed Murray for the conversion. Hippo gets it down through the uprights. And the Detroit Lions have a 17-7 lead. We're in the second quarter. Pontiac, Michigan, and we'll be back in a moment as Eric Hipple says, let's run it up.
Marge, letter to Grant Hill.
You are witnessing the new Lanier Messenger at work. Its 4 microcassettes let you organize your thoughts and talk to your secretary even when she isn't there. You can dictate, record phone calls, set priorities, leave instructions, and get those important ideas off your mind and into action, so you have time for the tougher problems. The Messenger, new, revolutionary, and only from Lanier.
Welcome to the Buick School of Performing Arts and its most distinguished graduate, the Buick Riviera. With front-wheel drive, 4-wheel independent suspension, almost every power assist imaginable, standard. And for power, a sophisticated V6 or optional V8 or diesel engine. Buick's Riviera, a real driver's education. Classes start at your Buick dealers now.
Premiering Wednesday, October 28th, Lee Majors is Hollywood's hottest stuntman, the Fall Guy.
Big play by the defense. Purifoy jarring the ball loose. English coming up with it. And the Lions moving in from the 5-yard line. They lead 17-7. Ed Murray to kick off. This is Dave Williams. And thus far, Murray has been trying to keep the ball away from Williams. He's been sacrificing some distance. This time straight away, and it'll be Dave Williams from the 4-yard line. And Williams just about hung up a long gainer. As it is, he's taken at the 25 and advances to the 27. First and 10 Chicago, who has been rather inept on offense except for a long scoring strike.
They don't look very sound on offense. Look a little disorganized, not much confidence there. It's time for the quarterback to take over here and get them going. He's got to bring them together right now. Let's see if Vince Evans can do it.
He is working with 2 rookie outside receivers. Both of his regulars unable to perform tonight. Walter Payton.
There he goes.
And this time, Payton finds an opening, and when he gets an opening, he just expands it. Gain of 9. It'll be second down and 1. And we're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
WLS-TV, Chicago.
And in case you've just joined us, we're in the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. Frank Gifford along with Fran Tarkenton, Don Meredith, Howard Cosell, getting ready to work the World Series tomorrow night, Los Angeles and New York. Lions took the kickoff and went 79 yards to open up the scoring. They have now expanded that lead to 17-7 over the Chicago Bears. Matsui has the first down. He's out close to the 40-yard line.
week in Pittsburgh. We get to see those Steelers and the Oilers. Neither one of them had a real good day this last Sunday, so they'll be trying to get back in the winning ways.
Cincinnati jumped all over the Steelers.
Houston played. They were a good ball game the first half up in New England, and somebody opened the floodgate that second half. So those two teams will be trying to get it back on track.
Like to watch Bradshaw, Franco Harris. First down, Walter Payton, left side. This time there's an opening, and Payton moves close to a 5-yard gain, or it'll be second down and 5. Walter Payton, if you can give him just a little bit of a gap, just has a remarkable record. He's had 42 games in which he's gone over 100 yards. And here he is in the 7th game of the season. And his best effort thus far in the year, 97 yards against San Francisco.
He needs a little help from the boys up front.
It is a team sport.
Second down, 5. Suey. And Matt Suey, good, solid running. He's on his feet, gets into Detroit territory near the 48-yard line for another Bear first down.
All right, this is by far the Bears' best surge tonight. They've got a couple of first downs here. Look pretty solid. As you can see old Suey there. They're high on Suey. They thought he could be a good player, and he's turning into be that.
He do a lot of things and did a lot of things for Paterno at Penn State.
Yep.
Well, what the Bears have done, they came into this game trying to get outside, and they had successive losses trying to get outside. Now they're taking it off tackle. Detroit playing everything outside, and Walter Payton, both Suey are both picking up yardage inside. Evans has the time. Going deep. Marcus Anderson. And Anderson, who caught one for 85 yards and a TD, comes down with it inside the 5 down to the 2-yard line. Boy, he got up there.
Nice going, Marcus. That was a good catch. He did get up there.
It really was. Oh, Evans. Watch Evans go back here. He's got some kind of strong arm. He just throws the ball down there 50, 55 yards without much effort at all. Just a little wrist, and there it goes. Could have given him a little bit more lead, but it's all right. The ball's down there. Marcus makes a good play. It's a night of big plays, Giff.
He's not a big man. He weighs under 170 pounds. He's 5'11", lean, lanky, and considering the shape the Rams are in, a wide receiver. With the injuries, got to think that maybe Don Klosterman is looking on and say, hey, we let the wrong guy go. A couple of fine catches tonight. Marcus Anderson, the rookie from Tulane. Vince Evans tries his hand at the quarterback sneak. Does not get in the end zone.
That's a little far out for the quarterback sneak, Don. I think at 1.5 yards, you have no momentum going for you at all. You're from a stand-up position, and you've got to get a tremendous surge to be able to push it 1.5 yards. You got one of the all-time world leaders back there, number 34. I think I can give it to him. Let him jump.
Well, I think you're right, unless you're, of course, a real strong-legged quarterback.
I never was that.
Oh.
But you were.
Yeah, strong-legged.
Pair of tight ends in the lineup now. Goal line offense to the Bears. Second down, goal to go. Payton.
There you go. Well, you can't go through. Go over.
Don.
Go over.
Go over the top. Touchdown, Chicago.
He does have tremendous spring in his legs. We saw him jump up, touch the goal, the crossbar several times. Just jumped over that line.
Well, the reason you can do it down there, the defensive linemen are in a low position. They don't want to get driven out, so they're right down on the ground, and you can jump over them. And that was a good play, a good call.
But everything goes up, comes down. You know, and that guy just puts himself up in the middle of the air. Walter's a great player.
Tell me that again. Everything that goes up comes down.
I read that. Well, that used to be true. Now they got things that go up there and stay.
Roberto, third kicker thus far on the year for the Bears. Bob Thomas was hurt early. Hans Nielsen missed one against Minnesota, would have tied it up. They let him go, and flags are all over the field.
That had to be a disappointment.
False start, number 78 offense.
That's Keith Van Horn, the rookie, #1 draft pick from USC, with a false start.
The Bears had a chance to win that game against Minnesota. They'd driven the ball down to the 10-yard line, and sort of had a chance to kick the field goal for a tie, to take it in overtime, and old Hans didn't even come close.
Missed it from 26 yards out.
There was no suspense to it.
Van Horn's arm looked like a leg. Did you see that huge left arm of that guy? God.
Van Horn, the big rookie tackle from USC.
Oh, my gosh.
He's also the guy that
Finger your calves.
Came around a while ago.
Barbato following the penalty with the conversion attempt. It's good. So the game tightening up. He's contributed so much. The rookie from Tulane, Marcus Anderson. We'll be back in a moment.
Trends. This one, big plays all over the lot. It's going to be kind of a crazy night. We're going to continue to see some, I think.
Barbato with a big foot takes Alvin Hall into the end zone. He very wisely is told to stay there by Robbie Martin. That's the duty of the other man when he does not get the football. He sizes it up. That time, Martin told Hall to stay in there. Touchback. And Detroit will move from the 20-yard line. It's Keith Van Horn, #1 draft pick. Replaced, we saw Dennis Slick get hurt earlier. He's had knee surgery. He is ordinarily the right tackle. They replaced him with Dan Jiggetts. He didn't get the job done. Now they're trying Keith Van Horn. Harry Kimball, his first start for the Detroit Lions. Hands the ball off to Rick Kane on 1st and 10, and Kane running very smartly out over the 25-yard line. Gain of about 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4, and for the night, Kane 57 yards.
Detroit's getting some running room against this Bear defense. They run the ball better than I thought they could without Sims.
8:45 remaining here in the first half. Two Central Division opponents. Fred Scott in motion. Play action this time. Hipple, probably unintended, throws the ball into the artificial surface, but Otis Wilson was right out there with Rick Kane. That could have even been a loss.
I'm not sure he purposely threw it away, but it was good that he did.
It'd be nice to think that he was aware enough of that situation that he did throw that one away, because he was going to get a halfback hurt.
Horace King now joins Rick Kane in the Detroit backfield.
King and Kane.
King and Kane. Again, both teams in the Central Division of the NFC right now on top of that division. Bud Grant and his Minnesota Vikings with a 5-2 record. Rick Kane.
Got it.
And Rick Kane has yardage for the first down and much more out over the 40-yard line to the 42 where Jeff Fisher took him out of bounds.
Bears guessed wrong with their defense that time. They looked to me like they were playing the other side from the end zone. Maybe we'll take another look. Really only see that there's no one over there to turn that play in. The linebacker's gone, so there's a quick move outside. Good lead block from Doug Plank.
Good block by Homer Elias. Big number 61. Detroit on the move once again. Play action by Hipple. Fires a strong shot. Complete to Freddie Scott, and Freddie Scott has another Detroit first down, this time at the Bears 40-yard line. Terry Schmidt laying well off Scott, anticipating really that the ball would have to hang if Hipple threw it that far to the sidelines, and he just zipped it.
That was a big leg play. As far split out as Freddie Scott was, they got a 15-yard gain. It was about a 45-yard throw all the way across the field, and he zipped it. He beats him easy, but the ball is delivered. I mean, it was a shot.
Right on the money.
It really was.
That's a tough pass, that 17-yard sideline pass. It's a tough one to throw.
First down, straight drop back. Hipple, Thompson, and Leonard Thompson up close to another Detroit first down, perhaps a half a yard short. Terry Schmidt defensively there for Chicago. And young Eric Hipple showing a bit of style, the style that he had when he rolled up over 6,000 yards and 34 touchdowns in his career at Utah State. He's 6 of 14, 91 yards on the night.
Well, it's kind of the way stars are made. All the quarterback that comes to this league can ask for is a chance to do it, a chance to play. Eric Hipple's getting that chance tonight, and he's doing just fine.
Gary Danielson, the regular starter, on injured reserve. He can't come back to November the 8th. He had a dislocated wrist. Second and short, Rick Kane.
Good hard running.
Gets the first down inside the 30-yard line. And we have an injured Detroit Lion. Need to pick up that number.
It's Chris Dieterich.
Dieterich was an injured Lion. And you see the trainer for the Detroit Lions calling for the medical staff. And Chris Dieterich will be attended to, and we'll have a report when we come back. Back to the quarterback is really protected nowadays. Ready to go now. Detroit has a first down and 10. Ball is at the 28-yard line of the Chicago Bears, and out rolls Hipple. Going back across the field, and the man wide open is David Hill, and Hipple just off target.
He was open, but little protection for Hipple. That's a very difficult pass to throw. Roll to your left, and he had to really drop it over his shoulder. He did miss him.
But he had Otis Wilson in front of him, Dandy. You're right about that. And he had to loop the ball over his head. Very difficult throw.
Little swing passes are awfully hard to throw to, I think, for the same reason, because you've got him going on a very unusual angle, and the ball, you don't have that much leeway to miss him. Sometimes if they're going across or a sideline pattern, you can throw it out, and the receiver can more easily make an adjustment.
You know, I maintain that your good passing teams, consistent passing teams, throw to those backs, and neither one of these quarterbacks have really established any passing games with their backs yet.
Second down and 10. Straight drop back.
Look out. Look out.
That one could have been picked off and wasn't. Freddie Scott, the intended receiver. Back there, Todd Bell. And the man who could have got his hands on it was Terry Schmidt.
You didn't see but two receivers in the pattern that time. They sent a couple of linebackers, so the backs didn't go out in the pattern. When you run an outside route like that, usually if they're going to blitz somebody, the cornerback's going to play to the inside. So if you underthrow it all, he's in great position for that interception. That didn't make any sense, I don't think. But it is right.
Well, Eric Hipple is 6 of 16, and you'll have that kind of percentage if you don't throw to your tight end and your backs, which he's not done.
6:20 remaining in the first half. Lions on top, 17-14. Third down and 10. Here comes your blitz.
Alan Page.
And Hipple gets out of trouble so far.
Wow.
And a really nifty effort to get the ball to Rick Kane. And you said it early, in such situations through adversity, sometimes heroes are born. And that was a great move on the part of Eric Hipple.
Good run by Kane after he got that ball. He turned up, headed for that goal line. That was a good move by Hipple.
The most impressive part about it, he ran, he did all that, but the most impressive thing about it, he kept his sense of presence and found a receiver. Now watch all this. Alan Page has an arm on him. He gets by him. He shows great athletic skill, but a lot of people have that. But watch him pull up, find the receiver, hit him. And guess what he hit? He hit a running back, and that's not all bad.
Hey, he was eluding about 1.5 tons of Chicago Bears. And yet he had the poise to pull up and make the connection. First down, goal to go. Kane, right side, piled up. Maybe squeeze the yard out of it. Will be second down and goal to go. Lee Kuntz leading the way defensively for the Chicago Bears. And word is on Chris Dieterich, an injury to the left knee. Kane having a big night in the absence of Billy Sims. One has to wonder what Billy Sims would have chalked up statistically, taking nothing away from Rick Kane, but Rick Kane has had some pretty gaping holes in which he was able to run. Play action. Hipple directing traffic. And he's going to go down, and flag goes down with him. Indication of an incompleted pass. And Detroit is saying that it was face mask on the part of the Bears, and that's the case.
I think somebody might have grabbed Hipple's face mask when they got all the pressure back there.
Al Harris was there, number 90. Dan Hampton, number 99, was there, all over Hipple. Hey, he is cool, though.
Yes.
In all that traffic, he was trying to direct his receivers in the end zone.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. First down.
Don, I think when you look at quarterbacks, everybody that comes up here can throw the football. Some are quick, a lot of them can run. But the ones that really can make it, I think, are the ones that just have a feel for it. And they have a sense of presence out there. They have a good vision of the field.
Sense of presence is what I would hold to. I think that's right. They got that. Amazing how the rest of those folks kind of rubs off.
Yep.
Really doesn't hurt any walk of life, does it?
No.
First down following the penalty. 1st and goal to go. Hipple. Wide open is Kane. Play action fake. Bears closed down, thinking slant off right side. Kane was wide open. He faked a little block, and he was right in the end zone. No one near him.
Well, Don made the point last night, Giff. When you see somebody that wide open, somebody missed a defensive assignment. A mental mistake caused that touchdown there for the Lions made.
Well, they had a 1st and goal ago a short while ago, and they ran that same play. This time they faked it on the same situation. Bears thinking run.
Now, one of those linebackers has the responsibility. Number 50 really probably had the responsibility. He couldn't get out. Maybe it wasn't him, but somebody supposed to be covering Rick Kane. Nobody was near him.
Well, somebody probably trying to help his buddy out. Here's Ed Murray.
Looks like it's an old pick play, you know, where you send everybody into one direction and you're going to bump into somebody.
A lot of gesticulating down there.
It was a touchdown, though, wasn't it?
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 82 on the defense. Penalty be assessed on the succeeding kickoff.
Well,
Alan Page, unsportsmanlike conduct. Touchdown counts. Penalty would go on the kickoff.
Probably read the legal right to him, Alan.
He might have got the wrong number. Alan said, I don't believe it was me.
He's going to lose that debate.
Alan not only knows his tackle, he knows his torts.
Yes, he does.
He's a lawyer.
It's good to know where your torts are. I'll guarantee you that.
He used to read those law books on planes going from game to game.
Don't want to leave your torts lying around anywhere. Murray for the conversion. Good offensive game. We've had some fine plays. A lot of youngsters. And the bulk of the plays have occurred with the Detroit offensive unit.
One night does not make a career, but Eric Hipple, I think, has a chance to be a pretty good player, Dandy, and maybe a very good player.
80 yards he took Detroit in 11 plays, and he used 4 minutes and 51 seconds. And again, we have heard the penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
All right, if it's a 15-yard personal foul penalty, which it will be.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 82 on the defense. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the succeeding kickoff.
Terry Seaman was making sure that not only Alan Page knew it, but we did also. So the 15-yard penalty will be assessed against Chicago. Want to remind
on the 50 now, you know, you could try an onside kick. If you miss it, you still got him inside the 40-yard line. If you kick it out and you go to kick it out of the end zone, make him start from the 20.
Well, you also have a 24-14 lead.
Yep, you can, but you're also
how about a punt?
2 and 4.
Yeah, we'll get Danny White to punt it for us.
I think right there and catch it. I think that's a good point because if you kick it out of the end zone, they're still going to get back at the 20. You got a chance to keep them inside the 20 with it. Maybe just a real high kick.
Ed Murray will put it in play. Matsui. Single setback. Well, he won't get the 3 points even if he gets it through. And Chicago will have possession at their 20-yard line. 4:25 remaining in the first half.
You know, another thing you can do is just kick it as hard as you want to and let them start on 20.
And he did that.
While they bring the offensive unit out, we'd just like to mention we lost a good friend here at ABC. Bill Muncy was killed yesterday. Bill Muncy, one of the great world hydroplane champions, won that event many, many times over, was killed yesterday in Acapulco, Mexico, racing in the championship once again, an event that he loved so much. We're going to miss him here at ABC. We worked with him many times. So for all of us at ABC, our sympathies to Bill Muncy's family. 1st and 10. Walter Payton left side. On his own. It's about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Walter Payton now over 9,000 yards on his career. Not that many folks ahead of him. Jim Brown with 12,000 yards. And I'll say it again, the more you realize what Jim Brown did in those 9 years, over 12,000, the more you respect his ability. O.J.'s in 2nd place with a little over 11,000. And Franco Harris just recently went over 10,000. He's in 3rd place, and Walter Payton is in 4th in just 6 years. Second down and 6. Payton again.
Watch out.
This is Walter. With a high-stepping run for a first down. Out over the 40-yard line goes Walter Payton.
You know what you love about Walter? No matter what the score is, no matter what the record of his team is, no matter how bad a block in is, you say this is no Payton place. Walter Payton plays all out all the time. Now, I know people say that all the time about players. It really is true about Walter. Sweetness. Go get it. Trying to get a block there from old Marjorie.
40 yards now for Walter Payton in 9 attempts. 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Lions 24, the Bears 14. Evans drills a shot out to Marcus Anderson. Anderson dropped short of midfield at the 49-yard line. Quick gain of 7. It'll be second down and 3. Stan White defensively there for Detroit. Neil Armstrong pacing the sidelines. The Bears have had an incredible amount of injuries thus far on this year. Long list. Going to 2 rookie wide receivers tonight. Payton once again. Look at that move.
That was a good
He
thing.
gets the first down at the 47-yard line.
Stan White looks to the sideline, throws his arms. They said, "Wait, I did the best I could." He was there and he was gone.
He just grabbed a handful of air. We're heading now to the 2-minute warning. Bears on the march. And there it is. 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Chicago has 3 timeouts, as does Detroit, and we'll be back in the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, after this message from the National Football League.
The Chicago Bears gives to the United Way because United Way supports the Salvation Army.
This is the scene of the Salvation Army we're all familiar with. But today, the Salvation Army is doing much, much more. Come on, I'll show you some of it. Here at the Salvation Army, there's a place for kids to get in off the streets. A place where they can learn about the dangers of drugs or alcohol. Here they can get a good start in life, a fresh start. The Salvation Army has been strengthening families and building better, stronger communities for over 100 years. Today, Salvation Army is working to hold the family together. Through family counseling, they serve all members of the family. Salvation Army, helping people for over 100 years. All kinds of people, all year long. And thanks to them, thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
Someone's got an awfully good joke at midfield.
Did you hear the latest rumor? Well, you know, Vince Evans gets a little criticism in Chicago, as all the quarterbacks do in every town they play in at one time or another. But here's the situation. He's got 2 minutes to go in the half. He's got 47 yards between him and the goal line. Any quarterback worth his metal's got to be able to work in this situation, Danny. Not a very difficult situation, but he's got to produce some points for him in this type of thing.
He has 3 timeouts. Ball is at the 47-yard line of the Detroit Lions. And the Chicago Bears are down by 10.
That's not what they mean by a balanced attack.
That's all 2s. Bears moving well on the ground on this drive. And they stay there. Walter Payton spins loose from a tackle. Walter Payton to the 35-yard line. If you give him any air at all, he can do so much on his own. Another Chicago first down.
2-yard loss for a 10-yard gain.
Run right out of the arms of Dave Purifoy.
At some point here, he's going to have to get to a controlled passing game and move it that way. I mean, Walter's great, but he ain't going to break all those tackles all night.
Evans whips the ball into the hands of Anderson, and this youngster is showing good form tonight.
See Walter trying to get into the action.
That was really something.
Now a flag goes down.
Yep, Ken Finetti took a little swipe at Walter Payton's head. It was bad because Walter got down there and was trying to block. Walter Payton was doing his job, some kind of hustle.
He jumped over the pile to block it. You know what? Finetti, I think, was also one of the guys that missed him on that 2-yard loss a while ago, too. Fantetti. Oh, Fantetti.
He made a major mistake there.
Anderson was short of the first down. The penalty, however, will advance the ball to within the 15-yard line. Here's the call.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 57 on the defense. First down.
Ken Fantetti, middle linebacker. Lonnie Clark doesn't care much for it.
There he goes. Watch him right here. There he's pushing him. And the official, that's really not very smart. Not only that, it hurt his team.
Chicago with 1:11 on the clock. They did not have to use a timeout. And a movement on the left side is Robin Earl, and that will cost Chicago 5.
Well, you're seeing some of the reasons why both of these teams have the records
False
they have.
start, number 81 offense.
Good, disciplined football teams do not make those type of mistakes.
Well, the Lions have been pretty close in 3 of the games they've lost. They've played, I would say, better football than the Bears have so far this year.
Yeah, they have.
But have won only one more game.
Encroachment, number 81 on the offense.
Not to Mitchman. Trying to block on him. The encroachment. Robin Earl was really off there. Yeah, they beat San Francisco in their first game, and they were the first team to shut out Oakland 3 weeks ago. Those are 2 wins. Both of them took place right here. They've lost 4 on the road. First down, 15. Evans in trouble. Oh. Fires it into the Michigan band, and I believe they're going to call him for throwing it away. Grounding, illegal grounding of the ball. And now Vince is going to have himself in deep trouble. He said, hey, I got a receiver down there.
He spotted one in the 3rd row up there.
Well, it was the tuba player, I believe.
No, I think it's a trombone player, Giff.
No, I think it's a tuba. It's the biggest opening.
2 against 1. I give up.
2 successive penalties.
Well,
intentional grounding, number 8 on the offense. Loss of down on the offense. Second down.
59 seconds now remaining in the half.
Well, again, I hate to be redundant.
Well, then don't be. I mean, but you've got a choice. What are you going to say?
Everything's a long pass. There's no intermediate passing game here.
Okay.
No?
Bears now back at the Detroit's 35-yard line. They had a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Armstrong, 89, the rookie from Stanford, split to the right. The rookie from Tulane, top of your screen, Anderson. Shot to Margarine, he doesn't hold on. That's unusual. He has fine hands.
Vince Evans got up very slowly that time, too. Got a pretty good lick. Had a pretty good pressure that time. That ball was well thrown. It could have been caught.
It was a well-thrown ball. When you throw those deeper patterns, it takes more time. You're going to get more pressure, and he got stung pretty good. Of course, he's in a situation now. He's got to throw it long. He's 3rd and forever.
3rd and 32. 54 seconds. That penalty, throwing it away, you heard referee Jerry Seaman accompanying that penalty is the loss of down.
He would like to get it closer, I would imagine, Giff, to have a field goal try. Not thinking touchdown particularly.
Evans, screen, Walter Payton. And Payton regains his feet. Dancing along the sidelines, drops the football.
Oh, no.
There's a scramble. Detroit says they have it.
What a terrific run to end that way.
I'll tell you, I know Walter gets a lot of criticism because he's fumbled some, but my goodness, he's trying to do so much to help this team win. What an effort. Cannot fault Walter Payton there at all.
The moves that he makes on this run.
Bob English again, or rather Doug English. Anytime a running back gets himself in contorted like Walter Payton does, he's going to lose the football once in a while. You're off balance, you're spinning, you're twisting.
Extremely limber, tremendous strength in his legs. Does remind one possibly of your duty of a Maurice Leclerc, the ballet. Possibly.
It certainly does.
Yes.
Or at least Nureyev.
Yeah.
Nureyev. I'll take Maurice Leclerc.
Walter. He takes it so seriously. Every play he figures to be the last one, and he plays it that way.
Yes,
First and 10, Hippo back.
Oh, I like this.
Good goes to Horace King, and that time Hippo showed something else. He took a little off that ball. Now he stops the clock with 29 seconds. Detroit will have 2 timeouts, so they may be able to put more points on the board. But Hippo is showing us something tonight. A real inexperienced quarterback, one with no touch, would have drilled that in the hands of Horace King.
Well, also in this situation, he realized Gift is going to double the outside receivers. The backs can run and catch, too. It's a pretty good game.
Let's go back and take a look at the run of Walter Payton.
Well, you're going to see the screen set up. Unfortunately, the 2 people in front of him will not block the guy that he has to break the tackle to start off with. See the 2 people in front? There's the guy they don't block. And he doesn't get a lot of help from those 2 blockers. And look at this. He is making some effort. Broke 1 tackle, broke a 2nd tackle, a 3rd tackle. He's still trying to get more. 5 people have hit him now, and he pops out.
I'll tell you something. James Hunter, the cornerback, they're pretty good tacklers if you're playing cornerback in the NFL. He didn't even touch Walter Payton. He had a straight shot at him. They got a handful of air.
You know the problem here, they won 1 game this year. Walter feels that, you know, he feels the burden on him. He's got to be the guy to get him over the hump, to win for him. And he's carrying the whole load himself, he feels. And he is carrying it.
All right, we'll see what the youngster Hippo can do. He has 2 timeouts with which to work. He has the 1st and 10. The ball inside his own 43-yard line. Eric Hippo, 2nd-year man from Utah State, where he hung up some impressive collegiate numbers. Almost picked off Doug Plank. Ball overthrown, intended for the tight end David Hill. Clock stops. 23 seconds remaining in the half.
Biggest miss he's had all night.
And to give the offensive line of Detroit a lot of credit, because Chicago knows they're going to pass, and they're giving him plenty of time to throw it.
The spiral on that ball had a similarity to the ones that Bobby Lane used to throw up there.
Must be something in the air up here.
You mean the option ball, you can catch either end of it?
But the accuracy did not. Bobby Lane, of course, one of the great performers here. 3 times he brought the championship to Detroit. 2nd down and 10. Hippo does the ostrich maneuver, and wisely so, as he was about to be hammered. Dan Hampton was in there, Alan Page.
Well, I'm sorry, boys. I talked about what a good job the offensive line was doing, and the next play they get sacked.
Now 18 seconds, and the loss is all the way back to the 33-yard line, so they'll have a 3rd down and 20. And Detroit stops the clock again. They still think they can get down and tack on points.
I like this.
Either that or he just likes to talk it over with Monty Clark on the sidelines. Monty now on the phone talking to Bob Schnelker and Don Dahl, the 2 coaches that work high up here in the Silverdome. Sneaky Snelker.
Sneaky Snelker.
We thought of it at the same time. Played many years with Bob. Smart football man, he really is. There's Neil Armstrong talking over.
That's Buddy Ryan there.
Buddy Ryan, he's the defensive coordinator.
Yep. Used to be with
Neil
the Jets.
Armstrong.
Used to be with the Vikings. He's telling Plank something. I don't know what that could be. Monty Clark telling his troops something. A lot of strategy going on there, Dandy.
I think they're trying to figure out what the best way to get in at halftime.
Interesting to watch this strategy being played out in these timeouts, and they go out, everyone all tensed up, and somebody bobbles the ball, they lose a couple of yards. Well, we've been busy. Dallas last night, or Dallas and Los Angeles, and quick flight to Detroit for tonight, and next Monday night we'll have the Houston Oilers with the Snake Stabler and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ray Bradshaw.
Earl the Pearl, Tyler Rose.
Saw a lot of shotgun last night, and Fran and Don are going to talk it over at halftime. We have 2 highlights coming your way, so don't go away. Here is the throw it up in the air and hope play. Whoa! Watch out! Ulysses Norris just activated today. Gets the football. He's down to the 34-yard line. The seconds are ticking off the clock, and now it stops with 4 seconds on a 31-yard pickup.
Fun play.
Yeah, Ulysses Norris. And of course, you know, Dandy, he's from Monticello, Georgia.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is.
That's terrific. That was a fun play. I thought they were going to throw that alley-oop, all 3 of those guys up there. They broke, had a nice pattern.
There he is. He's been out with an appendectomy and just came back and was activated today.
But they didn't call him Ulysses down there. They called him Uli for short.
Uli.
Got it again. Pretty good play. They had 3 receivers split and bunched up to the left. Norris broke off from the other 2, wide open.
Nice. That's nice.
Fun play.
Jeff Fisher missed the tackle, and it almost cost him. Gary Campbell catches up and makes a saving tackle.
Well, one would suspect that Ed Murray is a little out of range. We don't know. He's loosening up. 4 seconds.
He's going to try.
All right. 53-yard attempt.
Is the wind behind him, Dandy, or not?
No, his career best is 52.
Kick it right into it.
Hipple, the holder.
He's got it long
He's
enough.
got the distance.
He made it.
He's got it. 53-yard field goal, the longest of Ed Murray's career. And the second longest in Lions history.
My goodness, what was the longest? That was 53.
Boy, what a 7th-round draft pick Ed Murray was. Well, Eddie Murray is still being congratulated on a tremendous feat, a 53-yard field goal, second longest in Detroit history. He really got a foot into it. Hippo will get it down. That's one of the key items. Let's watch his reaction. Once he bangs it, I think he knows he's got it. Record, by the way, of 54 yards.
Look at it. That shows you how long it was. It took a long look.
Right into the arms of his quarterback. The record had been held by, or is held by, Glenn. Well, Eddie Murray is still being congratulated on a tremendous feat, a 53-yard field goal, second longest in Detroit history. He really got a foot into it. Hippo will get it down. That's one of the key items. Let's watch his reaction. Once he bangs it, I think he knows he's got it. Record, by the way, of 54 yards.
Look at it. That shows you how long it was. It took a long look.
Right into the arms of his quarterback. The record had been held by, or is held by, Glenn Presnell. It goes all the way back to 1934. But Eddie Murray, whose longest kick was 52 yards until tonight, has now kicked one 53 yards. Lions 27, the Bears 14.
I remember some years ago, Giff and Dandy, when down in New Orleans and Tom Dempsey kicked that long 59-yard field goal against the Lions to win a game.
It was 63, wasn't it? It was
63 yards.
Yeah, I think it was a 63 yard. Yeah.
I know the Lion defense. Alex Garrett used to tell the story. They saw him line up for the field goal, were laughing at him for even trying.
Dave Williams has not been back on the last 2 kickoffs for Chicago. You're looking at the rookie from USC, Jeff Fisher. Eddie Murray will get the second half underway. Fisher, we know, can go the distance. He went 88 for the punt against Tampa Bay. This is Leslie Frazier, as once again Murray kicks away from the deep man of Chicago. Frazier out over the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at the stats. Fairly close. Offensively, the 3 turnovers by the Chicago Bears. They do make a difference.
Well, the Bears made some big plays the first half. They really didn't sustain much. They did give Walter Payton a little room to run there at the end of the half. Let's see if they can get their act together here.
They got big plays from the rookie Marcus Anderson from Tulane. An 85-yard touchdown pass. He set up another one with a nice reception. The 2 rookies, 88 Anderson, Ken Marjoram from Stanford, number 89, are in there because Baschnagel is injured, as is Ricky Watts, the veteran outside men for Chicago. Here comes Walter Payton. There goes Walter Payton. He struggles back to the line of scrimmage. And again, for those of you who might have joined us late, Billy Sims, we were told, could play if necessary, if needed. 185 yards against Denver on a 4th down call that could have perhaps brought victory to the Detroit Lions. Billy Sims was held short, and he damaged his left toe. It is in some sort of a flexible cast tonight. But he did not start, and if Detroit maintains the lead, perhaps even if they don't at this point, I don't think we'll see the NFL Rookie of the Year, Billy Sims, a year ago. 2nd down and 10.
Delay of the game.
Inside the 24, and they're not going to get it off.
Nope. Delay of the game.
30-second clock expires.
Oh, that's too bad. Frank, that field goal you were telling me about a while ago, does that record go back, did you say 1934?
Glenn Presnell.
Okay, that was the first year that the Detroit Lions became the Detroit Lions, and before that they were the Portsmouth Spartans. How about that?
I
Little
like
trivia.
that.
Billy Joey Sam's foot. You really can't see it. You've been doing research again, Don.
Well, you've been sneaking around this afternoon.
I got an interesting letter, and it's true. These Portsmouth Spartans played the first night game in the NFL, and they played the first indoor game on a 60-yard field in Chicago. And then they could keep the team going, small town here in Ohio Valley, and they became the Detroit Lions. And in 1935, they won the NFL championship.
You know, you're a real full-fledged historian.
Well, no, I got a lot of friends out there that send in notes.
I see.
Delay of game on the offense.
Well, it took them quite a while to work that out, but they finally got it marked off, so it's going to be second down now and 15 for Vince Evans. And what really happened, they called the penalty, but they forgot to mark it off, and one of the Detroit linemen heads up about 20 seconds later and said, hey, you didn't give us our 5. Evans, draw play. Suey, nothing doing. Bottom of the pile, Doug English, number 78. It'll be third down now and long for Vince Evans, and in previous situations in the first half, they have been very careful of putting it up in the air. They have gone with sweeps. And we'll see what comes out of the Bear huddle. You know, Doug English was very successful in that oil venture, as a matter of fact. Yep. He's still involved in it. He just decided that football was not out of his system. Took the year off a year ago, and he's back playing as solid as ever. Third down, long yardage. Evans with a fine shot upfield, and Marcus Anderson is playing really fine football tonight. 5'11", 168-pounder. Gets the first down for the Bears.
There's no question that's a big leg play there, and Vince Evans got a big leg arm. He really threw a shot in there. Marcus Anderson making some good plays tonight. And he gets away from the coverage there of James Hunter. Hunter closes fast. Good throw.
I'll tell you, this youngster is going to put some pressure on Beischnagel when he gets well from the broken wrist, and from Ricky Watts when he gets over one of his frequent pulled muscles. Evans, all the time in the world, and this time Anderson could not hold on to that ball. It was really smoking as it went through his fingers.
He's got some
Evans can throw it, can't he?
He really can. He's got a gun, as they say.
Let's pause 5 seconds now and allow our stations to identify themselves.
WLS-TV, Chicago.
We move past the 11 o'clock Eastern time zone. Howard Cosell not with us here this evening. Brian Tarkin, Don Meredith, Frank Gifford. He's preparing, of course, for the World Series that will come your way tomorrow night. The Yankees and the Dodgers. It'll be a beauty. Second down and 10. Here comes Walter Payton. Emmanuel Sanders out in front. Payton gets up to the 40 and just refuses to go down.
You got a feel for Walter. He's coming out the outside. He barely missed Emmanuel Sanders and bumped into Robin Earl, and those guys were on his side.
Hey, Emmanuel Sanders is not really the basic pulling guard, what we've seen this far this evening. Good straight ahead, good on the pass block. He was released by Detroit, and Dick Stanfield, now coaching with the Bears, had him down there when Stanfield was down there. And when the offensive line was trouble early in the year, Stanfield brought him in. He's starting ahead of Reevy Sorry, a longtime starter who had 62 consecutive starts, but he's been benched. Third down and 7. Blitz on Evans. Flag is down. Walter Payton has the football. And depending upon the flag, Payton has yardage for the first down. That settles that. Holding Bears.
Evans made probably his best play of the night.
All arm, and he whistled it.
He did. Throwing off balance, jumped up in the air.
Neil Armstrong, the beleaguered coach of the Chicago Bears. They're really hammering on him in the press in Chicago. Hammering on the entire organization, I might add. Even we got some mail. Don got a new song that perhaps he'll sing a little later on. The new Chicago Bears song, some fans suggested.
Holding number 65 offense.
Well, it's unfortunate. Neil Armstrong's a quality man. So is Jim Finks, the general manager. They're talented and quality people, and you hate to see him have to take that kind of heat, but it's part of the business.
Noah Jackson holding for the Bears. Third down, 16. Evans strong arms it to Marshall. pass that could have been caught and thrown behind Marjoram. Marjoram's really come on. A couple of weeks ago in Minnesota, he caught 10 balls for 140 yards. Broke a lot of the records out there set by Tony Hill, James Lofton, and Gene Washington. The Bears' third-round draft pick, Ken Marjoram. Here's Bob Parsons now, and here is Robbie Martin. Martin at Detroit's 25-yard line. Parsons, fine punt. Martin will have an opportunity. And Martin collides out there with several of the on-rushing Bears. 49-yard punt, 10-yard return, and Detroit will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
You know, I don't like giving things up. That's why I kept working this farm when my neighbors were selling theirs for condominiums. When they were buying little foreign cars, I got another Buick LeSabre. It has space for a big guy like me who likes his comfort. But it also has a V6 engine and mileage that might just surprise those neighbors, which kind of says to me, you don't have to give up your old values to get a new one.
Would you really rather have a Buick?
Where are my memos? Where's
Our boss, Mr. Wolf.
Where are
We
they?
used to call him the werewolf.
Where's my budget report? Where are those letters? Where's the flowcharts?
Then we got Lanier's new typemaster to master the work of up to 3 ordinary typewriters.
Must be a monster. Where am I gonna put it?
Typemaster gives you no problem typing in the space of a regular typewriter. Now Mr. Wolf's like a pussycat.
Where you been all my life?
Almost.
The new Typemaster from Lanier will make your good people even better.
The Silver Rush. Which means what?
I'm not sure.
I know what that ABC means. Silverdome in Pontiac. Not sold out tonight. Very close. It seats 80,000 plus. Detroit with the lead on a 1st and 10 from their own 30. A hit ball. David Hill. And David Hill out close to midfield before Lee Coons collects him there. A very fine touch on the part of Eric Hipple. Really? Now 11 of 22 and 188 yards.
Really was, Giff, and he's using all of his receivers. First time he's really gotten to David Hill tonight, I think. And then maybe one other time. Good target, but he's getting around to the back some, getting to the tight end, the outside guys. Very well conceived offense. Oh, sneaky Snelker's done all right.
They mark it at the 48-yard line. Straight drop back. Good protection. Hippo strong arms it. Has a man. Fred Scott. Good defensive play, and the flag goes down. That plank was there, as well as Ruben Henderson, the rookie from San Diego State.
Well, I'd like to have another look at that. I thought he hit the ball when he went up there, but what do we know? We're a long way away from it.
Good throw, wasn't it? That ball was way down there.
Yep.
The call against Ruben Henderson. Rookie 6th-round draft pick.
Well, let's watch this one more time. There he goes. You will see Ruben Henderson down to the left there, coming up, number 20.
That's face guard, you could call it, too. He was playing the man, not the ball. Good call. First down, inside the 11-yard line.
Here's reverse thing. See a little better here. Yeah, he interfered with him. That referee knew all the time.
Sure he did.
That was a 41-yard penalty. Hipple back up on top.
That's touchdown.
There he is, Dave Hill. And again, a fine touch by this young quarterback. Can you imagine how exciting it is for this youngster making his first start? Played at Utah State. Did not draw a lot of national attention. Detroit got him on the 4th round a year ago. All he did was hold the ball for the place kicker Eddie Murray. Even though he had impressive stats, over 6,000 yards, 34 touchdowns at Utah State, he wasn't well thought of. But he is making the most of an opportunity tonight.
Well, it's just a down now by the tight end. David Hill hadn't been in the end zone in so long. He did a very bad job of spiking this ball.
Hey, well, that was a lovely touch, though. That ball was laid out there in nice shape.
Ed Murray. Detroit extending their lead over the Bears. They now lead 34-14. Very costly interference call against Ruben Henderson. We'll be back in a moment.
know, baseball's the same in Japan as it is in America. You play 9 innings. 3 strikes and you're out. And after the game, there's nothing like a beer. And when Numa's in town, I treat him to light beer from Miller because it tastes great. Yeah, I know it's less filling, but we drink it because it tastes great. Listen, Numa, it tastes great. All right, it's less filling.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And
A phenomenon that has always puzzled me is why some people settle for the ordinary when they could have the extraordinary. Perhaps its cause is simply a lack of knowledge. Fortunately, I've never had that problem. So choosing a home videotape recorder was relatively easy. I chose the Sony Betamax, for when I observed how it performed so many complex technological functions with such ease and simplicity, I no longer saw a machine. I saw genius.
The genius of Betamax, only from Sony.
Sunday, for the first time ever, live network start-to-finish coverage of the New York City Marathon. Join the Oktoberfest for October's Best on ABC Sports.
David Hill has caught 3 tonight. This last one for a touchdown.
But he ran a great pattern, but watch the spike. He goes up. He's going to really lay it down on the rug, and he did lay it down on the rug. He didn't slam it down.
Oh, he said, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Not having a David Hill year. He had only 8 receptions in 6 games coming into tonight. Well, he's found a man that can get it to him now. That's Jeff Fisher. Ed Murray really bangs this one. Keeps it up high. And here comes Fisher. Out of bounds. Inside the 20. At the 18-yard line. So Chicago struggling offensively. Giving up costly errors defensively. Bringing their offensive team back out.
And on the opposite end of that, the Lions have really put together some things their last 4 possessions. 3 touchdowns and 1 field goal.
Isn't bad.
That drive, part of Detroit, aided by that 41-yard penalty, used up a little less than a minute and covered 70 yards.
We got a new quarterback. Oh, it's still Evans. I thought they had a new quarterback.
Evans remains. Evans. That pass will be ruled complete by Anderson, who makes another great catch, even though he did not come down inbounds. He was hit by the Detroit defender.
That had to hurt.
And he is staying on the turf. Well, he has been spectacular tonight.
What a flip. And it came right back down on his head. Whoa. Evans does have a strong arm. We've been saying that over and over. Maybe that ball just barely, it's hardly a ripple in there.
It's something.
Goes up, catches it, says get out under. That's really too bad. Right back on his head.
That's Wayne Smith that came in under Anderson. Again, I'll point out, he only weighs about 168 pounds.
You know, he does have a strong arm, Danny, but they're putting a lot of pressure on him. I don't care how strong your arm is. When you're throwing the ball down the field 20 and 30 yards most every play and not going for high percentage passes, you're not going to complete a high percentage of balls. You're not going to sustain an offense. And
tell you what he's done tonight. He's caught 6 for 176 yards. And coming into tonight, he had only 3 receptions.
What about that? Young rookie from Tulane.
Being assisted from the field, and we'll get word from the bench as quickly as we can. Meanwhile, Brian Baschnagel, who suffered a slight fracture of the wrist, is coming to the lineup. He wears number 84. He has been the regular starter for the Bears for several years, but he is wearing a cast on his wrist, covered with, of course, the sponge rubber that is required.
Dandy, as I sit here, the wind is blowing in here and blowing this banner over our head straight out. Now, you tell me how that could be.
I didn't lie to you, Francis. I told you there was wind in here.
There is wind in here.
2nd down and 1. Matt Suhey.
Doug English.
Matt Suhey will not get the first down as Doug English is playing fine football tonight.
I felt 2 years ago there was no better defensive tackle playing than Doug English. And I know it was a big loss for the Lions last year, but they're glad to get him back. That man can play.
When he gets hot in his oil business, he might buy the Lions. Oil business being better than the car business these days. down his very short yardage. The two tight ends are in.
As there's a Doug English is getting them fired up. He's talking to big old Gay there. He said, let's go.
About a half a yard needed for the first. Matsui finds that opening that you get so often on short yardage and gets much more than the necessary yardage for the first out to the 35-yard line. First down, Bears. We're almost midway through the third quarter. These two teams, not outstanding records, of course. Detroit 2-4, and Chicago 1-5. And now an injured Lion is being assisted from the field. That's William Gay.
And they're bringing in a guy, Curtis Green, the number 2 draft choice this year, Giff, who they really have high hopes for. They think he can be an exceptional pass rusher.
Yeah, they already lost Al Baker at that defensive line with a sore toe. Much like that of running back Billy Sims, whom we have not seen tonight. Same foot. Curtis Green wears number 62. He's in there defensively now for Detroit. First down, 10. Play action. Evans gets the ball out to Payton. He one-hands it. And a good tackle, good defensive move by Steve Furness, who played so many buried spots for the Pittsburgh Steelers over the years.
You know, he was a good player for the Steelers. He got traded down to Tampa Bay during the summer, did not make their team, ended up here in Detroit. 10-year veteran. Good man, he could play at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they've already lost Joe Ehrman. They had him in here. They got him from Baltimore. They lost him to the injured reserve. They brought Curly Cope in. They cut Curly Cope, and they picked up Steve Furness. He made a big play. Second down and 11. Curtis Green again in there for William Gay. Now, William Gay has come back out on the field now. Second and 11. Matsui.
Good defensive play.
Flag is down as Matsui goes down.
Something happened in the secondary, Giff, around Robin Earl, and I don't know what it was.
Stan White read that all the way.
He and Wayne Smith had some problems, I think,
against Detroit.
Yep. Giff, you mentioned the injuries to Detroit. It seems Detroit every year has a lot of injuries. You know, some teams seem just have more injuries than others.
Usually the losing teams.
Yep, and Detroit has them every year.
I'm not being facetious about it. It usually is really is true.
It always was amazing to me as we listen. Well, no, not listen to the call. Let's listen to it here.
Illegal use of hands. Number 44 in the defense during the pass. First down.
And on
Smith.
And on the other hand, Bud Grant's team over Minnesota, which dominates this division, have very few injuries. Very few. And this team does.
They don't dare.
And the Packers have a lot of injuries also.
Tell me, Bud's not really that big on all the weightlifting and the off-season stuff.
No scrimmaging during the week, late training camps. He takes it pretty easy.
Training practice during duck season. On first and 10, following the penalty. Walter Payton. Vintage Walter Payton. Out over the 45 to the 47 with an 8-yard pickup when he should have been stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you, old Ray Bob Olam made a heck of a defensive play. And he's the guy that you're going to see Walter come jumping over. Coming out on the outside. That's Emmanuel Sanders. He goes right under. That was Olam. What a move by Payton.
67 yards for Walter tonight, and difficult yards.
And Doug English is going out now. My goodness, if they're
being decimated.
Continue the defensive
line.
They're going to put an offensive tackle over there.
They've only got 3 defensive linemen left. That's what they got 4 in there now, but they only got 3 healthy ones.
Gay has come back in. This is Bashnagel playing again with the cast on that injured wrist. He gets the first down. He's close to the 48-yard line of Detroit. Bears getting something together here in this drive with 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter and down 34 to 14. There's that cast.
Imagine he got to feel pretty good about making that first reception too.
So we have Marjoram now, 89, and Bashnagel, 84, wide receivers for the Bears. 8th play of this drive, Walter Payton gets inside the 45. Another gain of 4. It'll be second down and 6. Infantetti made the stop. Odds are coming tough for Sweetness tonight.
But he's sure getting them, and he's rolling up some yards tonight.
I don't believe I can recall that he has got by the line of scrimmage without somebody putting a hand on him.
I think you're right.
And in many cases, several hands. Peyton now 50 yards in his last 6 attempts. Matsui, he's running well, and he gets another Bear first down to the 33-yard line.
This is a good-looking drive, Dandy. They're putting something together. Good running.
He is good with it. It seems like they're really having to work for it. I mean, there's nothing coming easy for them. They're picking here, picking there. 20 points behind.
20 points down. Out of fish in terms of somewhere along the line getting a big play.
Yeah, but they need to get something solid. A good solid drive would do a lot for their psyche. They can take it all the way in with a good solid drive. All right.
Robin Earl in motion. Walter Payton. Oh, and Payton runs right into Stan White. Carries him forward for a yard and a half.
Good defensive play by Stan White. So he had pretty good position on it. One of the reasons I'm guessing that they may be having a little offensive generation here is, as we mentioned, the defensive linemen that have been hurt. So they've got some new players in there.
Well, we've got Doug English back in there.
Yep.
Gay is back in.
But he's got a pass situation here. Let's see if he can hit a controlled pass. Something 7, 8, 9 yards. Keep his drive going. That's what he needs.
Solid 2nd down and 8. Evans wide open. Beischnagel, he holds on even with the cast on his hand. Inside the 10, down to the 7, 1st and goal.
Had to hold on to it. He couldn't get out of the way. That ball was down there before he could turn around. Hit him right in the 8.
Still waiting on the report about the condition of Marcus Anderson.
Well, Evans is going to go back, get set good. He has a wide open Beischnagel, and he delivers a strike. What talent this young man has. If he can get it put together, he can really do something. He threw a good ball there. Beischnagel makes the play, and they're in position to score.
Evans now 12 of 18 for 220 yards. Suey to the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Tough position. You got that 1st down, 6 or 7 yards to go. If you throw, you still got 2nd down.
All right, here you are, 2nd and 5. What would you do? You throw a run in this situation.
Well, yeah.
You got Walter back there. It ain't bad.
You do. I would imagine that they can probably figure that out better than I can. I'm going to just watch and see what they do.
13th play of this drive coming up. Chicago's longest possession. They worked on the clock. 3:54 remaining in the 3rd quarter, but they still trail by 20 points. Suey, big opening, and he is hit and hammered. Gets down to about the 3-yard line, just on brute strength. Chicago has been dominating this series. I mentioned earlier they won both games of last season.
Well, you got Vince Evans, who has got great quickness and speed. Down the 3.5-yard, I would think rollout gift of some type. He's got to throw the ball, you would certainly think here. Rollout would be a good play.
3rd down, goal to go. Ball inside the 3-yard line. Evans had to fire it away. Ken Marjoram is in the end zone. That'll bring up 4th down. And 20 points down, you got to go, don't you?
I would think so.
And they are going to go. I don't know. You know, they left themselves one option there. They put Evans in a pretty tough situation. He had his end guy jammed up, and he didn't have anywhere to go with the football.
I like your rollout call. I think that was a good. They were in a spread formation, that split backfield, and the rollouts primarily usually come in that close backfield. Gets more people out that pattern.
He puts a lot of pressure on the defense with his speed if he can get him outside.
Beischnagel left. Marjoram right. Cobb, 87, the tight end. Evans in trouble.
Oh, no.
Thought he could run it in. Detroit closed it off. And Detroit turns the Bears back on their best drive of the night with no points.
Yep, it's
a long night for this young man, who one would suspect he is really still a learning process, has a future ahead of him. 2:55 now remaining in the 3rd quarter, and we'll be coming right back.
Why have over 1 million people replace their brakes at Midas? Was it because they know Midas has brake mechanics that are specially trained? Was it because they know Midas has the right brake parts in stock? Or was it because they know Midas has over 20 years experience under the car? Well, whatever the reason, it certainly was no accident. Get the Midas touch. Nobody else has it.
You know, for my money, every pair of slacks ought to be this comfortable. These are Levi's Action slacks. I own 4 pair now, and I'm convinced they may be the most comfortable slacks a man can wear. First, they have a hidden stretch waistband. It's a great invention. Second, the fabric gives for even more comfort. And now Levi's Action slacks are stay pressed. A washable permanent press that really stays pressed. You try them.
Levi's Action Slacks, the easy care, easy to wear slacks from Levi's Menswear.
Owning a home, has it become the impossible American dream? Watch Nightline tonight.
I have to feel for this young man. He has been the target of so much of the abuse poured on the Bears in Chicago and by Chicago Bear fans around the country. He just engineered a 15-play drive that brought the Bears to a first and goal inside the 5-yard line. They used 7 minutes and 41 seconds, and they came away with no points.
And that is discouraging. I know it's tough to handle.
And meanwhile, this man, well, it's been a fairy tale for him tonight. Young Eric Hipple. Rick Kane, left side. There's Reuben Henderson was up there first. Otis Wilson, number 55, helping out. A lot of frustration for the fans of both of these teams. The Detroit Lions, well, they haven't been in the playoffs since 1970. And only once, as a matter of fact, until you go back all the way to 1957. That one time in the playoffs, 1970. Bears, well, they're in the playoffs in 79. They lost to the Eagles. They were there again in 77. Lost to Dallas in that one. Prior to that, they hadn't been in any kind of championship game since 63. That creates the frustration. Second down and 11. Dexter Bussey. There's a really smoking on defense down there. Otis Wilson leading the way.
You really got to give credit, Gift. Down 34-14. We're seeing more hitting right now, more aggressive than we've seen all night.
They're getting mad.
Yeah. They also have had a lot of injuries on defense. Mike Hartenstein, long time and a perennial, started at the right side. He suffered a broken thumb. He probably won't be able to come back. They had to put a pin in that broken thumb. They use him on goal line, but they can't really use him out of the wide open.
But I think he's in there now, Gift. They just put him in.
Yeah, they put him in.
He's in there now.
Tight situations. Playing with a big cast on. Right side, Rick Kane. Troy doing the smart thing with a 20-point lead. They're not going to turn it over down here deep.
These fans won't score us every possession, don't they?
They're booing that call from the 3-yard line. I thought it was a good call. Tough series of downs, but you're right, Gift. They did the right thing.
You got a punter that leads the NFC, averaging over 45 yards coming into tonight. Dropped just a bit. Here's Jeff Fisher that can put some life into the Bear team. Fine return man.
Yeah, fans sometimes don't understand that the other team gets paid too.
Spadini, Fisher at the 45-yard line of Detroit. And upended down close to the 35-yard line on a 41-yard punt. A little below the customary effort of Tom Spadini. So the Bears, who came away with no points in the last drive, have great field position once again.
Sorry.
Armstrong in the right. This is his 4th season. That's Ted Marchibroda. Now walking away from Armstrong. He's the offensive coordinator. Did a fine job with the Baltimore Colts over the years.
And before that, the Washington Redskins did a good job with their offense. He's a good football coach.
First time the Bears have taken possession of the football in Detroit territory. And Evans has to hurry again. He throws a good shot to Marjoram. The rookie receiver from Stanford, and a flag is down.
And that's going to be the second one against Finetti tonight on a personal foul.
He fouled the action against the quarterback, Evans.
Can't throw a ball better than that.
Nope. It's just he's got some kind of gun there.
And Teddy was right in his face.
I really can understand their frustrations, because he does have a good arm. He's a good athlete, and they just seem to be a little bit out of sync. They can't keep anything going. But that ball was thrown before he made the turn. If it had been a foot one way or the other, been a very difficult catch. As it was right in the numbers.
Penalty tacked on to the reception. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 11.
Personnel foul, roughing the passer, number 57 on the defense. First down.
It's a pair of them tonight for Fantetti. Took over the middle linebacking position as a rookie in '79. Very aggressive. Walter Payton. Payton just using that amazing strength that we see so often to get down close to the 8-yard line.
Well, you know, down here, if you do go to the passing game, it's very difficult to get to the outside receivers. There's not enough room down there, and you really have to get the ball either to your tight end or the two backs. Now, he's not done that very well tonight. He's done very well getting to the wide receivers.
And time is running out here in the 3rd quarter. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Ball at the 7-yard line. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. 34-14, Detroit over Chicago. We'll be back after this message from our local stations.
Premiering Sunday after the World Series. A special 2-hour premiere of a hot new series, Today's FBI.
You're in a risky line of business.
Mike Connors busts open a waterfront scandal.
I want this walking garbage off my beard.
Today's FBI.
Sunday.
We'll show you how the Dodgers got into the World Series, and we'll talk to some Bear fans who can't take out their frustrations on Howard Cosell, so they go after the Bears after the game.
Get great savings during the Appliance Bonanza at Montgomery Ward. Like Ward's 4-in-1 component center with AM/FM stereo, 8-track and cassette recorders, and turntable. It's now $40 off. Get the armchair convenience of remote control with a Ward's 19-inch color TV and you'll save $70. Ward's 1.5 cubic foot microwave cooks a complete meal and features automatic temperature probe. It's now $100 off. You'll find savings in every appliance department now at Montgomery Ward.
The ability of science to turn the seemingly impossible into reality is behind many new oil discoveries at Amoco. Our scientists can look through the very Earth itself with electronic devices that scan deep through solid rock miles below the Earth's surface. It's one technique Amoco is using to help find natural gas in Louisiana now, and new energy to keep America growing in the year 2000 and beyond.
Charity's going broke tomorrow on 4:30.
Think I don't have my hands full. We've got Dandy on the phone. Fran's looking for the Honey Bears.
I got her sighted down there.
No, you don't.
Yeah, 3rd from the left.
No. And they are right there, a whole bunch of them.
Howard again in Chicago, and I don't think he'd ever dream he'd get 3 jocks in the same booth at the same time. Howard, of course, getting ready for the World Series, coming your way tomorrow night.
But I know Howard's going to tell it like it is and think what a wonderful job we're doing.
Our director, Jeff Forty, throughout the entire series of Monday Night Football, also working on the series. Craig Jana providing the superb pictures tonight. Walter Payton. That little hole there. Right side on 2nd down and 7. Gets down close to the 5-yard line.
Closed quickly, though, didn't it?
Yep.
Well, they can make a 1st down if they get to the 1, which is a little bit different from that situation they were in a while ago.
Take a look at the 3rd quarter stats, and the time of possession has gone considerably in favor of Chicago.
Yep.
Detroit had the ball only 3:25 in the 3rd quarter. If they outscored Chicago 7-0. And of course, when Chicago gave up, could not get the points on that 1st and goal they had inside the 5. 3rd down 4. They can get a 1st down at the 1. Evans.
That's the flag.
You're going to get the flag. It was intended for Walter Payton, and crawling all over Walter Payton was Gary Cobb. That'll be a 1st down and goal to go.
It's a good thing it's an interference call. No way Walter Payton's going to catch that. Old Vince, when he throws those backs, needs to take a little bit off that ball. It's a little too hard when you're throwing the ball 7 or 8 yards to a back.
1st down, goal to go. The Bears down by 20.
Pass interference, number 53 on the defense. 1st down.
Again, you'd like to get the feeling, as we look once again to the pass interference. question about it. Cobb all over Peyton. Yep. You'd like to get the feeling that offensively the Bears could catch up with 20 points down, but they just are struggling almost on every play. Detroit will contribute once again, as they should be called for encroachment unless they were induced.
It's a little too far out to do that Walter Payton leap, I think, also.
Yep, I think you're right. They're going to penalize them half the distance to the goal, though, I would imagine. Yes, they will.
Thank you, Jerry.
Pretty tough down there, aren't they?
Yeah.
3 touchdowns rushing.
Offside, number 75 defense.
Very Purifoy. Not only that, Detroit had the #1 defense in the entire NFL a year ago against the rush. Their problems really are in the secondary. That front four is good and solid. Purifoy, Gay, English, Baker when he's healthy. Down, his first down following the penalty. Down remaining the same. Matsui.
Nothing there.
They are tough down there.
Ooh.
Big cats in there.
You know, a defense gets a lot of pride in itself when it has that kind of record of only allowing 3 touchdowns rushing about half a year, and they really get enthused down there, and they're trying to keep them out of there, although they've got a big lead.
Can be a misleading stat too, because if everybody's scoring so easily in the with the pass, they say, well, why am I going to? We don't get down there close. We score from way out.
Sometimes those stats are misleading.
They really are. A lot of times they are.
But what I'm saying tonight, this one may not be, because they are tough down there.
Yeah, you're right.
They have been solid for years against the run. And no, so he will not get in.
Now that's awfully good.
This crowd is starting to get a little bit excited. They'd like to see the goal line stand. Boy, is there some hitting when you get down there?
Putting hats on hats. Somebody comes in and just rips him back. I think it's William Gay.
Should have given the ball to Walter. He made it over the goal line and no problem at all.
It may be time for the leap here, Dandy. This may be it.
They in leap territory?
I think they are. They're about the 1-yard line. He can leap a yard.
Suey has gained no yardage in the last 3 attempts. So we'll look for 34. Up and over. Flag is down.
Flag is down.
You saw just the slightest movement on the left side.
And he got way up, but I don't think he got in that time either. But he got it close.
You also saw that whole... Oh, no.
Oh, that's a tough penalty.
Noah Jackson, they say, the left guard for the Chicago Bears. Might give Vince Evans
that's a little quick move.
But that was Albrecht, 64, I thought, not Noah Jackson. But whoever, it was against somebody.
Left guard on the offense.
Well, nice.
So the Bears are backed up. The 6-yard line down remains the same. It will give Evans actually a little more room to work with in the end zone with his receivers.
Yep, got to look at the tight end here. Either tight, you got 2 double tight end or the running back. Actually, got 3 tight ends.
A strange formation when you know you have to throw the ball.
You're gonna roll.
Oh,
incomplete. Mike Cobb, the intended receiver. Defensively, back there, James Hunter, number 28.
But that was
going to be 4th down.
Good play by Evans. He really pressured the defense. He rolled out, pulled up, found the guy open in the end zone. Had a chance. Are they going to kick it then?
Well, they're trotting out John Rovetta.
No, yes they are.
Rovetta, as I mentioned, is the 3rd place kicker thus far this year for the Chicago Bears. He's perfect in the field goal department because he hasn't tried one.
Well, they don't have enough men out there now.
They really don't. They're missing.
No, this is pathetic.
This is really not good.
No.
And Chicago was forced to use a timeout. They had 10 men on the field. We'll be back in a moment. More frustration for Armstrong.
I'll tell you, we never realized golf was such a tough game.
Hey, it's a lot easier hitting a quarterback than a little white ball. So us Linksters drink light beer from Miller.
Not just because light tastes great, but because it's got a third less calories than a regular beer.
And it's less filling.
And you can't afford to get filled up when you're out there trying to get birdies.
Yeah, those things move awfully fast.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Used to be when I had a job to do around the house, it was one-on-one. Me against the house. And since the house was much bigger, I usually lost. Well, I've just changed all that with my Black & Decker Workmate. It'll hold just about anything I want to work on, from a door to a pipe to a 200-pound dresser. In fact, my Workmate is so good at helping me work, I'm giving it Sunday off.
Workmate's available from about $50.
John Rovetto, the third Chicago Bear place kicker this year. Told him earlier, Bob Thomas, injured hamstring. Hans Nielsen blew a short one up in Minnesota. He was gone. Rovetto tried out with Dallas last year. He tried out with Tampa Bay this year. Had a good college record at Southwest Louisiana. This will be his first attempt in a Bear uniform. Bob Avellini, the holder. Jay Hilgenberg snaps the ball. John, it's not difficult.
I think I would have taken a delay of game penalty that last time before I would have used a timeout. 5 yards wouldn't have hurt down there.
If you just mentioned Jay Hilgenberg snapped the ball. His uncle played for the Minnesota Vikings linebacker. Do you know who that was, Dandy?
Wally. His uncle, yep. That's old Wally.
He's also Jay's agent. Interesting topic on Nightline tonight, coming up after the game. Something that really touches all of us. Nightline will focus on the crisis in the housing industry. And again, it affects so many home buyers and home builders. Tonight on Nightline.
Good-looking group of cheerleaders.
They from Mount Vernon?
Almost the same color.
12:44 remaining in the game. Bears pick up 3 points. Twice they've been down inside the 5-yard line. With a first down and goal to go, and they come away with 3 points with the 2 efforts. They trail 34-17. Good watch for an onside kick because the Bears kickoff team huddled together on the sideline, rather an unusual measure. And again, they're not fooling anyone by it because Detroit has all their folks up there, and they use the sure-handed people on the outside. Hill is split to the right, the tight end. The cornerbacks that are used to handling the football.
I think it's a little early for an onside kick.
I do too. And they've only got one receiver back, which is.
I think let it go.
Kick it over to
I
one
also
side.
think it's a little early. I was just pointing out that Detroit thinks they will.
Yep. Just a journalist is what you are. You're reporting what you see.
Trying to.
Yes.
Kicks it away. Difficult kick to return. Wedge. Hard to form when you're anticipating the onside.
Oh, he's got outside though.
Robbie Martin gets around the corner, turns it upfield, and gets all the way out to the 35-yard line. Fine return by this young rookie from Cal Poly out in San Luis Obispo of California. Home of Ed Brown, a former Chicago Bear.
Ooh, Eddie Brown.
He had some moves, didn't he?
That's what I heard.
One of the real legends of this game.
He was a football player, too. First down 10. Detroit. Moving the ball smartly tonight. Under the direction of the young quarterback, Eric Hipple. In reverse, Leonard Thompson. Another quarterback block. And you're right, Hipple was out in front again as Leonard Thompson turns on that speed.
And Hipple didn't get his man down, but he got him out of the way long enough for the reverse to work.
Well, he didn't hold it either.
Nope. They're saying that Thompson stepped out of bounds close to the 45-yard line.
Take this, Dandy.
All right. I like a little razzle and dazzle. Let's just get him back on the other side. Let him go.
There's Hipple.
Yep. That's good. That's good. That's
not a bad block.
No.
Thompson got the good speed. Frank, there you just see he did step out. Got so excited he forgot where the sideline was.
Leonard Thompson. Really lost none of that speed over the years. A couple of banged up knees. Gives Detroit a first down inside the 45 of Chicago.
That was a little audible, I think.
Play action again. Man wide open, and it's Freddie Scott once again. Look out. The sprint to the end zone, and Scott will win it. Good shot. Perfect pass. Scott ran a great pattern. And Detroit, you have to wonder, looking at them tonight, about their 2-4 record.
Well, I'll tell you, they have found themselves a quarterback tonight in Eric Hipple. He's got a good touch, good feel for the game. He's confident, and Bob Smelker's offense is well conceived. They can be heard from the rest of the year.
I really think that was an audible. I saw him take a little extra time up there. Who do you think that looks like? Give him a gray beard. Let his hair get
Kenny
long.
Stabler.
You bet he
sure does. He's a right-handed Kenny Stabler.
That was a good throw, too.
Watch the speed he put turns on here. I didn't know he had that kind of speed, but he just outruns everybody.
13 of 24, 242 yards last week under the direction of Jeff Comlow against Denver. He was 7 of 16 for 72 yards. Gary Danielson again will not be available with his dislocated wrist until November the 8th. So Detroit has found themselves a new hero in young Eric Hipple. Ed Murray converts. And the Lions have cracked the 40-point barrier. Good pattern, Freddie. We'll be back in the Silverdome in a moment.
Blow away everything you ever heard about pickups and meet the revolutionary new size Chevy S10. There's never been a truck like it before.
Chevy S10.
Longer than the imports,
But smaller than full-size pickups.
there's never been a truck like it before.
Never.
Big, roomy cab.
And heavier payload than many standard full-size pickups.
Chevy S10.
The new size Chevy S10. Order yours today. There's never been a truck like it before.
Never.
Chevy is the power in trucks.
Deadline, Saturday, October 31st at Sears. Weatherwise radial tires are on sale. Sears Best all-season steel-belted radial. Now save 25%. Deadline, Saturday, October 31st at Sears. The Sears Die Hard battery is on sale, now with even more power than ever before. Only $54.99 with trade-in. Save $15. For great automotive values, you can count on Sears.
Saturday, high-flying college football action as Nebraska attacks Missouri. Minnesota battles Iowa, plus other ace regional contests. Drop in Saturday on ABC.
One of the great marching bands in this country, the Michigan Marching Band. Roar. Boy, they are something, too. We watched them before the game. They're a great bunch of kids. They're having a super time. Eddie Murray hammers it for Detroit. Jeff Fisher driven well into the end zone. Brian Bashnagel tells Jeff Fisher, stay there. So the Bears, trailing 41-17, will have possession of their own 20-yard line. Once again, both teams rivals over the years in the NFC Central Division. The Central Division now being headed in its customary style by Bud Grant with Minnesota Vikings. They have a 5-2 record. Tampa Bay 4-3. Detroit will be 3-4 after tonight. Green Bay is 2-5, and Chicago will drop to 1-6 unless all kinds of miracles start taking place over the remaining 12 minutes. Evans has the time this time. Connects with the tight end. That's Robin Earl. Former running back out of Washington a few years ago. Led the Pac-10 in rushing. Big man, 6'5", 240-pounder, Robin Earl. Bob Fisher, a backup tight end, one of those many injured Bears on the injured reserve with a knee problem. Vince Evans is now 14 of 23 for 245 yards. But having a difficult time getting it into the end zone. It's down at 10. There was movement, but no flag. Evans fires a strike, and this time Marjoram shows the great hands that he exhibited over his career at Stanford. And Evans is shaken up again.
Oh, he really took one.
I tell you, you can never question the guts and courage of this man, because he will stand there for the last possible second before the release.
But he's having to. Here's Marshall coming down the out ball. It's about a 40-yard throw from where Vince is, but he guns it on down a little bit low, but good catch. Do you think that might have hit the turf first? I don't know.
Well, if he didn't, it was a good play acting.
Yep. Incidentally, we've been told that Marcus Anderson was shaken up. He's the other rookie who had a great night tonight for Tulane, but he has a rib problem.
Hey, look back on that lick he took. I'm not surprised, were you?
Walter Payton gets outside. Finds himself a Detroit defender and steps out of bounds. Short of the first down, but another pickup for Payton of 7 yards. It was Alvin Hall defensively. Payton now 89 yards. And they have been tough.
The Bears, the last 3 times have driven the ball very nicely. Good drive, good passing, good running. You get down inside the 5, they cannot score.
Well, it's solved that if they just start off with field position improved by about 5 yards.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We'll come back to that.
Oh, okay.
Second down, long to Matt Suey, single setback. Evans, look out, blitz is on, he just does get it away. Intended for Bashnagel, and Evans took another tremendous shot. Defensively, Jimmy Allen back there working on Bashnagel. I'll tell you, here's what I meant earlier. He knew this man was coming, and yet he waited until he could throw the ball. He knew he was going to get hit.
That's a safety blitz. That's Ray Oldham.
Yeah. Wasn't nearly as hard as some of the others he's taken tonight.
And we are watching Mike Phipps warming up on the sidelines. It could be that Neil Armstrong, seeing this thing rapidly getting out of reach, decide to give Vince Evans a little relief. 3rd down and 3. Here comes everybody. Full blitz.
Oh my goodness.
Walter Payton has open field. And a good tackle. A tremendous tackle down there
by James
Hunter. 27-yard pickup. And you won't often see Walter Payton in an open field being stopped by one man. Credit to James Hunter. First down, Chicago. 21-yard line of Detroit. Mike Cobb now has come in as tight end for Chicago, number 87.
That was a good read of the blitz by Evans. He had a blitz on, had to get nobody to pick up off a full pickup. He gets it out to Payton. Good read.
Evans.
Quick. There you go.
Suey. Down goes Suey inside the 20-yard line, close to the 18. He's in the arms of Gary Cobb. Gain of 2, perhaps 3.
Well, on this drive, he's using a little play pass action, hit the backs twice, hit the tight end once, hit the wide receiver. He's moving it around. He's picking them apart a little bit. You like to see that from your quarterback.
Lions may be giving them a little bit more room now than they were about a quarter ago.
I would think so.
2nd down and 7. Evans again on top. Going into the corner of the end zone. Bashnagel, intended receiver, well covered. Again, James Hunter was back there. And he was getting help from the linebacker Stan White.
Walter Payton was out the 10-yard line all alone.
3rd down and 7. Evans on the night, 17 of 28, nearly 290 yards, 1 interception and 1 touchdown. Next week, Green Bay Packers will roll into the Silverdome to meet the Detroit Lions, and Chicago Bears will return home, and that will not be a friendly crowd when they take on San Diego. James Hunter went back into the defensive huddle, and now he's moved over to talk to the trainer.
I think that's from that hit that he hit.
I think it is.
Walter, because he got up very slowly, and holding that left side, probably the shoulder that he hit Payton with. Pretty tough booger to stay there one more down, don't you think?
Well, you know, Detroit came in with a lot of injuries. They're leaving with a lot more. They're playing this entire game really without Al Baker, an all-pro defensive lineman, without Billy Sims, who's all-world. Playing pretty good, but they're losing some players.
And Billy Sims, we were told, could possibly have played tonight. Damaged big toe on his left foot. Hurt in the Denver game last week. But obviously it has not been necessary to put him in the game.
It's really a big plus for the Lions, because if they didn't have to use him, that just gives those kind of injuries a little bit longer to heal.
Hector Gray, number 26, replaces James Hunter.
I figured that out.
3rd down, 7. 18-yard line of Detroit. Lions show blitz and then step out of it. And here's Matt Suhey. Incomplete, and we'll have a 4th down.
They just need to start a little bit closer to the goal. They do well until they get down there. They just need to get better field position. That's what I'm saying.
Do you think they're close enough for Walter's jump over?
Nope, they're not close enough for that.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
Just to the 18-yard line.
Well, they have moved right up and down the field when they get down inside the 20, and everything stalls.
Saw a little bit of that in Dallas last night. We saw a lot of plays in between those 20s and 30s there in that last half.
Chicago has outgained Detroit 370 yards to 404. Fine catch by Marjoram. Inside the 10. 1st down, Chicago. 1st down, goal to go, and a fine pass by Evans. Defensively, Wayne Smith is there for Detroit.
All right, here comes Marshall down the field. He's going to do a little turnout pattern, and he turns back in. Pretty good move.
I'll tell you, that
pretty
was a
cute.
fine move. And Wayne Smith went all the way with it. Great career this youngster had out of Stanford. He's not large either. 5'11", 170-pounder. Wide open is Robin Earl, but Evans happened to throw that ball off balance, and once again he was under pressure.
Yep, he really had him out there wide open.
A little more touch is necessary. He had Robin Earl that was open by a good 5 yards that time.
Sandy, you and I never had this problem. Do you think quarterbacks can have too strong an arm?
Yeah, I think so. I think for years, either that or they only got one speed, you know. Yep. I mean, it's that one speed thing. Bobby Douglas took a lot of stuff there in the Bears for having that kind of arm for a number of years.
2nd down, goal to go. Suhey on the draw play. Suhey inside the 5-yard line where it'll be 3rd down and goal. You're told that James Hunter bruised his left forearm in that tackle of Walter Payton. And Hunter is out of the game at the moment.
Well, there they are again inside that 5. This is the 3rd time in the last so many possessions they've had the ball, drives, and they haven't been in the end zone yet from inside the 5.
Twice they've had a 1st down and goal to go inside the 5. Now they have a 3rd down and goal. That was a quick look at Hunter. There's the rollout.
He's going to run for it.
He will not get in. Inside the 1, Vince Evans, and what a horrendous pileup of bodies.
Don't anyone question the courage of Vince Evans. My goodness.
And he is very slow getting up.
Yep. That's why quarterbacks don't run in this way. It can be dangerous.
And Evans is not getting up. Vince Evans being treated there on the sidelines, tried to force it into the end zone, could not do so, piled up. We'll be back and we'll check on the Chicago Bear quarterback in a moment.
Welcome to the Buick School of Performing Arts and its most distinguished graduate, the Buick Riviera. With front-wheel drive, 4-wheel independent suspension, almost every power assist imaginable, standard. And for power, a sophisticated V6 or optional V8 or diesel engine. Buick's Riviera, a real driver's education. Classes start at your Buick dealers now.
Welcome to our people-pleasing places. Good luck.
Holiday Inn makes me feel like a winner. That's why my team chooses Holiday Inn. No surprises. Beds always comfortable, always. Big rooms. And there's a Holiday Inn hotel near just about everywhere we play. Well, let's go call them like we see them.
You have to see them to call them. Holiday Inn is #1 in people-pleasing.
Vince Evans, who has been pounded about the field throughout the night, tried to force that into the end zone, stacked up. He is walking and appears to be all right. He's going to get a breather, as we are going to see Mike Phipps, a 12-year veteran from Purdue and a former starter for several years with the Bears before the job was taken by Vince Evans. Former starter with the Cleveland Browns, as a matter of fact, before Brian Sipe erased him.
There they're on the 1-yard line. They've been there 3 or 4 times too. They never run it in there. Walter one time hurdled over in the first half. Let's see what they do here. I have no clue.
This is 4th down. No way. That was Phipps. When you got Walter Payton, who can leap out of the end zone, hard to figure that. Crowd loves it.
My goodness.
So the defensive unit, don't they have? They're having fun.
Yeah, they are. Boy, they shut them out the second half, haven't they?
3 times inside the 5. Twice they had a first down and goal to go. This time around, they had a 3rd down at the 3-yard line. And from those 3 efforts, 3 points. Chicago once again, long drive. They held the ball 5 minutes and 16 seconds. Ran off 12 plays. Couldn't get it in the end zone. There's Evans being looked after on the sidelines. It's been a long night. It's been a long year. This game is so tough on sensitive people like Vince Evans. The emotional trauma that you take from fans, booing, their own self-doubts, it's all there. As Rick Kane tries it right through the middle. Watch Phipps again on that quarterback sneak.
Well, some of you people might question why they'd call a quarterback sneak.
I did.
Did you, Dandy?
Yeah, I did. Particularly, Phipps is just coming in. And I like, you know, they've had more success than anything, either letting Walter jump or rolling out. They're not doing much in the middle of that line.
No.
So get to the outside.
Inside 7 minutes. And whistles sound on the field. Flag is now thrown.
Well, I'm sure it's very confusing to Neil Armstrong and trying to know what to do next. But they're just the Bears. I've never seen them so disorganized and discombobulated. They're having a hard time.
You know this man very well, Fran.
Yeah.
We all do, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he's
very fine coach.
12 men on the field on the defense.
Gosh.
That's twice now they've had either too many men or one time on a field goal attempt or a conversion attempt. It was a field goal, by the way. Well, they had 10 men on the field.
You know, Bud Grant thinks he's a great coach. He was Bud's defensive assistant for years. He was a head coach up in Canada. He's a thoroughly professionally qualified head coach. But it's this team is falling apart. It really has. And there's no other way to call it. That's telling it like it is, Dandy.
Well, then why doesn't that real good coach do something about it?
I don't know what he can do.
Down remains the same. It's first down and 5. Play action.
Oh, my goodness.
Hippo wants the ball. He's got the speedster, Thompson.
That's it.
You will not catch Thompson. Flag is down, by the way, in the end zone, and so is the quarterback, Hippo. 94-yard touchdown.
He took a lick. He took a lick after he threw the ball. I don't know who hit him, but he took a bad lick.
Leonard Thompson with that great speed that he has carried over the years.
Number 90 on the defense. The touchdown is good. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the succeeding kickoff.
Al Harris flattened the quarterback, Eric Hippo, who held it till Leonard Thompson broke clear. And this young man has shown a lot of style tonight.
Watch Leonard Thompson. He's in a tight end position. He just runs across the field. He's going to break clear of the defense. That's Plank getting turned around, but Plank is no match for Leonard Thompson's speed.
Little play action fakes after coming up.
And the ball is delivered right on the money.
Not a Detroit Lion record. That's held by, of all people, Carl Sweetan to Pat Studstill of 99 yards. Bobby Lane hit Cloyce Box back in 1953 for 97 yards. But this man has really put the numbers on the stat sheet.
Well, we'll watch it here and see if we can see him get hit. He's going to make the good fake, get back and set, good protection there. Oh, he gets it hit right in the pit of the stomach.
You know, I mentioned Cloyce Box. I was out punching cows with him a couple of days ago.
You got your new cowboy hat too, didn't you?
Oh, I got a beautiful cowboy hat. 14 of 25, 338 yards. Now for Hipple, Ed Murray for the conversion.
If the Bears were embarrassed last week, Jim, what are they this week?
Well, I wasn't really punching cows. I was holding on to that thing that up at the front of the sack.
Whoa, Horsey.
Another letter, Marge. Letter to Grant Hill.
You are witnessing the new Lanier Messenger at work. Its 4 microcassettes let you organize your thoughts and talk to your secretary even when she isn't there. You can dictate, record phone calls, set priorities, leave instructions, and get those important ideas off your mind and into action, so you have time for the tougher problems. The Messenger, new, revolutionary, and only from Lanier.
Powerful Delco Freedom 60 batter. It's not only truly maintenance-free, but even frozen in an inch of ice. Cranks up the storm.
Hot, firing, cold, cranking, dirt, fighting, road, handling, money, saving, hard working. AC Delco.
The one and only World Series starts tomorrow night on ABC.
We're back. And a lot of fans, not a sellout crowd, close to it here at the 80,000 capacity Silverdome in Pontiac, but very enthusiastic as well they might be. Partisan crowd, of course.
Well, they think they found him a new quarterback. I mean, they're having fun out here. 48 points on the board.
Well, they can keep Detroit home. They're going to be all right. This will be the 3rd game they played here, and the 3rd one they're going to win.
They didn't have to use that man.
Heck, he's probably
look at him. He's singing the party is over.
Don't worry about his job.
Did you see Billy?
Was he?
He was singing the party is over.
Well, is it?
Oh, it's been over for a long time. I just didn't have. It's been over for a while. It really is.
A penalty assessed against number 90 Al Harris, and so the kickoff was from midfield, and a flag is down upfield.
You know, as you talk about the Bears' frustration, Jim Finks, who really had a large part of this, putting the Vikings together, making them a championship contender most every year. He brought in Bud Grant for one thing.
Offside on the kicking team. Penalty declined. It's a touchback. First down.
And I know it's frustrating to Jim because he's been here 7 years. He's had him in the playoffs a couple of times, but it just hasn't worked out for him this year.
That's the time of possession. How about that?
Yep.
Lions, of course, big plays. Got much bigger than 94 yards. A touchdown pass of Hipple to Leonard Thompson. Chicago, first and 10, their own 20-yard line, and the most points the Bears have scored, or rather Detroit has scored, going way back to 1954 when they rolled up a 48-7 win over San Francisco. Team, by the way, they beat earlier this year. They might be a factor in this Central Division race, even getting off to a slow start. Matt Suhey has hustled and played his heart out tonight. Gets the first down for Chicago.
And Phipps is down.
And now Phipps is hurt.
Well, in case they put a call in up here, Dandy, I'm not available.
They got Avellini.
Okay, that's good.
Mike Phipps now being treated. Bob Avellini, 7-year veteran from Maryland, warming up on the sideline. Those are his career stats. We saw him against the Los Angeles Rams 3 weeks ago. And in all probability, we will see him now.
Hi.
No problem. And he is being treated now by the Bears medical staff as Bob Avellini warms up. And now Fitz is being helped to his feet.
Well, that's a tough position. Avellini actually started the game we did against the Rams, and here's Hipple on the other side. When you see the quarterbacks, Fred, they get a lot of praise. They get a lot of abuse. Do you feel that they really can swing a game like this?
Absolutely. I think the quarterback makes a tremendous difference. I don't think you can play in this league without a very good quarterback. People talk about why does Minnesota win the division now. I don't think their talent's any better than the Bears, the Lions, or other people, but they've got Grant Shirley. But they've also got Tommy Kramer, who happens to be far and away the best quarterback in this division.
Well, we came in here tonight, and I never heard of this. Hipple, really, you know, I didn't know anything about Hipple or Whipple, and all of a sudden we're going to be hearing a lot about him for a while.
He's played tonight, and he's been a difference, a big difference.
Bob Avellini is the quarterback. Mike Phipps carried off the field and appeared as if his left knee was damaged. William McClendon, 37, is one setback, and here he is. And he is stacked up. This Detroit Lion defense has really been charged tonight. That's Steve Furness with the defensive play, along with the rookie second-round draft pick Curtis Green out of Alabama State.
It's also a confidence thing. When you got a quarterback that's hitting on all 8 cylinders that you believe in, the defense plays better, your line blocks better, everything goes better. And right now, it doesn't seem that the Bears there's any confidence in any one of the 3 quarterbacks. They often say if you got 3, it means you don't have 1.
Well, McClendon loses 3, a second down 13. Matsui, single setback. Walter Payton now getting a breather. Avellini connects. Nice tackle. He gave up the football, and that will be ruled a completion. Under the new rule this year, once you control that ball, it is ruled a completion, and Detroit has it back.
They're fighting over who got the fumble.
4th turnover of the night for Chicago. And it was James Harrell, the replacement middle linebacker for Fantetti.
He got that one off just in time. Right there, wide open was Vashnagel. I'm sure that cast he's wearing on his arm had a lot to do with not being able to hold on to that. He didn't really get a real hard lift that time.
Detroit has the football back. They're leading 48-17. And perhaps a star has been born tonight.
He started off so well, Frank. The first pass was a beautifully thrown ball. Big gainer for him. And he just, that's that real little shot in the arm. I've never seen him play before, or really as anybody else in the pros. He had a great college career.
And he'd only thrown the ball 15 times in 2 years coming into tonight. Didn't throw it at all, as a matter of fact, last year. So his action has been all this year. Monty Clark must have seen something in the youngster that he liked in the few appearances he made, because he had no qualms to send him out starting tonight, replacing Jeff Comlo, who had a tough time against Denver a week ago. And, of course, Gary Danielson can't come back till November the 8th. And he sent him out. He put the ball in the air on the very first play. And here comes Rick Kane, who's having a fine night for Detroit, getting another first down close to the 40-yard line of Chicago.
You know.
Mike Phipps, he's had an up-and-down career that goes back to the Cleveland Browns 12 years ago.
Yep, I'm sure he had such high hopes for his own career. Came out of Purdue, great player there, #1 draft choice for the Browns. Looked like for his early years he was going to be a great quarterback, and then things didn't work out for him. Traded Chicago, still didn't work out for him.
Billy Sims out of the lineup. Rick Kane has played well tonight. He's approaching the best day of his career. He has 92 yards on the night. Kane again. Left side. This time stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
You have to give Monty Clark some credit, too. Here he comes into a situation. He's #1 running back out. He's 2-4. Needs to win desperately. He takes a big gamble. He goes with a kid who really hadn't played any.
And he's taking some heat, too. They've got some of your fine journalists out here that had him fired. They had John Madden coming in. They had Maxie Baum coming in to take over his job. I don't think there's any concern about Monty Clark, at least in the front office here. Picks up 3 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 7 as we head down towards the 2-minute warning. Detroit, of course, not concerned with it, but they have 3 timeouts, and Chicago has 2.
All right, this telecast presented by the authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Go, Dandy.
It is?
Yeah.
Well, I know this, that if there's any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League, I know you're not supposed to do that.
No, and that is prohibited.
2-minute warning. And already, Chicago's had more points scored on them than they had going all the way back to 1969.
New Backwoods Smokes.
Thousands of the Detroit fans have filed out, content with a overwhelming victory tonight by the Lions over the Chicago Bears, a team that really has dominated Detroit over the past few years. They won both games last year. And right now we have 2 minutes remaining. 2 really tough minutes of a tough night for the beleaguered Chicago Bear team. I'm going to continue talking so you will know I'm not singing.
Call it a night.
There it is.
The party's over.
That is certainly not the Ames brothers. It could be the Andrews sisters.
I don't know whether they're saying
You be nice over there, Shake. You just be nice. It's been a long night. We could have sunk Take This Job and Shut It.
Yeah. Green with envy he is.
3rd down, 7, and Kane again.
He really is, as a matter of fact. You ought to hear him try to sing
4. It'll be 4th down.
Drifting Saddles of the OK Corral. Only when he knows any words to it all is about an old dog named Shep. He can't sing that one either. He's jealous. You're right.
I'm going to sit over closer to you, Dandy. I'm going to just move away.
Walter, God love you, you're super. Yep. You just didn't have enough help tonight.
Chicago has called timeout.
No.
They're going to pull this out.
Now, no, that's really not right. Maybe somebody got hurt. They didn't call timeout.
This ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you tonight by Lowenbrow. When you want the taste of a truly great beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrow. And by the Buick Motor Division and your Buick dealer, who have proudly announced the 1982 Buicks. Well, credit to some of our fine technicians that have been bouncing around the country during this Oktoberfest, as we call it here at ABC. We have had a lot coming your way. And, of course, much more to come your way in the form of the World Series. Next Monday night, we'll be in Pittsburgh for Pittsburgh and the Houston Oilers. But we get all the visibility, and the other guys do all the work. Believe me, they do. We have much of our crew was in Dallas last night, up late, tearing down, getting an early plane into Detroit, out here, right, literally from the airport. Great bunch of guys. Love being associated with them. 4th down. This is Vince Thompson, and he has a Detroit 1st down. Rookie from Villanova. Tell you about some of them. Of course, our executive producer of ABC Sports, Brun Arledge. ABC's Monday Night Football was produced by Bob Goodrich. Directed tonight by Craig Janoff. As I've already told you, Chet Forty, who's working on the World Series. He's in New York with Howard. Our technical director is Les Weiss. Our associate director, Bob Rosberg. This young man has really worked his tail. Our technical manager, Bill Freeberger. Our unit manager, Bob Crivelli. And assistant to the producer, Robbie Cowan. He put in some hours. John McGinnis, of course. Others, assistant Joan Chappie, Patty Ryan, Sal Johnson. That's not all of them, but that's a lot of them. Rick Kane, left side on 1st down. And of course, stats and research provided by Mike Swanson tonight. Harry Klein, also working on the World Series in New York. And from Canton, Ohio. Who is it? More relatives than any man I have ever met. Steve Ezekiel.
Stevie boy.
And we'll update the standings for you. Minnesota on top. They lead Tampa Bay. You can see for yourself. In Detroit, they're now in 3rd place. And Chicago remains at the bottom of the pile with a 1-6 record.
9-7 won it last year.
Rick Kane over 100 yards tonight. He doesn't give any back. Final seconds ticking off. Long, frustrating night for Chicago. A brilliant night for a youngster named Eric Hipple, who has proven that he can quarterback in the NFL. Once again, the final score, 48-17, Detroit over Chicago. Remember to stay tuned for ABC News Nightline 30 minutes after the game, 11:30 on the West Coast, over most of these ABC stations. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. That's what Friendly Skies are all about. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as a leader in sports television. We'll see you next Monday from Houston or Pittsburgh. Well, it could be anywhere at this point.
White House